you in a minute, guys. Just making a coffee. Play some music.
Enough of that, eh? I like to play some music just to get the people in, so I didn't start my conversation and then people join in late and go, what the hell was he talking about? Anyway, guys, welcome back again. Is this 3 nights on the bounce or something? I'm becoming a bit of a hangout addict. Nah, my main excuse tonight really is my missus on night shift again. She's a nurse working night shift, and my wee man, my kids, they're away, staying with the in-laws, so I'm stuck in the house on my own with nothing to do. So I checked out the recent flat earth stuff. I've seen Flat Earth Vancouver BC, Glenn. He made a video about my hangout. And when I got up today, I put the YouTube on, and there was 2 videos remarking on my hangout practically. And one was Glenn's, Vancouver BC, and the other one was Dell, Beyond the Imaginary Curve. And he didn't necessarily mention my hangout, but fucking, when I woke up, I had that hangout, went to sleep, woke up, and he'd already posted his video about globe sophism. And I used the word sophism when I was talking about flat earth. And there's just so many. He said he was going to have a hangout tonight to LA, so I was kind of waiting for it, but it never happened. Maybe because his buddies couldn't get his troll crew sitting at the bottom of the screen there to control everything. So I thought I would oblige and make one. I was just going to go through Dell's video talking about certain contradictions that he said it seems to be that Dell can't have an original thought. All his material seems to feed of what I do and what I say, and most of his material. So I think when he had that video today talking about my vlog yesterday, he kind of ran out of things to talk about tonight, I think. So poor Dell, he's not having a hangout tonight. He watches these, so he'll probably be lingering somewhere. I ken you're there, Dell. I know you're out there. But Dell was talking about, he was actually talking about a model today, Dell. He was talking about Laurie's model. Laurie and, is it Lawrence? He was talking about their model. And he was saying, Dell was saying this, by the way, imagine, I'll just play with you. Imagine. For a guy that doesn't like to imagine or talk about models, he was talking about the Pac-Man model and imagine. And he was using, remember my analogy how I debunked a vet with a spinning hand sort of perception shit. Well, Dell used that in his video. He used it practically as a proof again. I just fucking debunked it, and then he uses it. What the fuck? Does he not understand what I just said about it? So it was a weird one. And I can tell he's just bouncing off what I'm saying. Dell's just bouncing off what I'm saying. And right now, with Glenn's recent video, I think Glenn's just bouncing off what I'm saying. I thought Glenn was more interested in going for the potato crew and stuff like that, but he seems to have a gripe with me right now. Don't know why, because of that hangout that I thought was good in the morning. I'm getting told this, that, and the next thing, and by the time I know it, and fucking Glenn's making videos. It's like you can't trust anybody really. So I'll go through their videos. I'll kind of break them down. I've got a proposal tonight too. I was looking at the moon tonight, guys. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I don't know what it looked like from where you were, if you had clear skies or not. But the moon tonight here in Scotland, because we had really clear skies. And it's quite frosty outside now. But we had a beautiful crescent moon with Venus at the bottom of it. Oh, it was beautiful. And you could even see Mars at the top left. I took some photos and I took some video tonight. So I'll show you that later. And I've got a wee proposal about the moon. Because remember when I was talking, guys, about my mate, one of my mates, went to the Emirates. And it was last month. But I was talking to the moon. I was telling him about the moon. I was looking at the moon. I could see the details of the craters and stuff like that. And just talking about how it was crescent. And he says from where he was in the Emirates when he was on holiday, the moon looked like a U, like a horn, like bull's horns, like it was like a upside down banana. That got me thinking again. I'm looking into the flat earth here. I'm saying the moon looks like a crescent, like a banana. Like it was like 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock crescent. It was like the top of the crescent was probably pointing at 1. If just imagine a clock. Imagine a clock. See, imagination's good, Dale. See, you were just using it before. Right, imagine the top of the crescent's pointing at 1 and the bottom of the crescent's pointing at 7. That's the way the crescent was sitting. And when he's seen it, it was obviously looked like 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the way the crescent was. So that got me thinking. I was like, if that's the case, this must be because we're on a different part of the globe. And that kind of debunked it when I was talking to him about it. I was like, oh my God. Then I was looking at the moon tonight and I was looking at Venus. I was staring at the moon and I got an epiphany. It just hit me. And I thought, what the hell are we tracking the sun for? What the hell are we tracking that sun for? With the sun, Dale showed some hilarious photographs in his last video. It's quite funny. His neighbour passed them through these photographs, and they look like Starry David again. And he says, "Oh, I don't know if it's like 2 pyramids on top of each other," and it just looks like lens distortion. It looks like an old camera. To be honest with you, it must be a dated camera to pick up that kind of imagery. But I've looked at the sun through. Got welder's goggles there, so I've seen the disk of the sun. I'm not too sure. It must be a globe. I mean, the sun must be spherical, because I've been watching the sun has black spots on it. And you can see them going round, and they can actually predict them as well. These black spots, you maybe seen them when I showed you the transit of Mercury. But to me, the sun's still an enigma. It's still quite an enigma. We still don't know what it really is. I was listening to Conspiracy Mystic and The Scarecrow, and this second hangout was quite good, actually. I quite enjoyed it compared to the first one. The first one was good, but it was a bit too... I thought Scarecrow was playing up a wee bit too much. He's like, he's a bit too like into his character, whatever it is that he does. I'm sure he doesn't speak to people day to day like that. So it was nice, the second hangout, and they were talking about certain things. And you find yourself when you're watching certain hangouts, like talking to the screen, saying, "Oh, it's this, it's that," and they were talking about the core of the Earth. And I took geography as well, and I remember seeing like the Earth modelled, and then they've got a chunk out of it, and you see the different layers. You've got the mantle, the core, the inner core, all that stuff. The crust. It shows you all these different layers. And they were talking about, well, where does the heat come from? Because we know we got hot springs, we get lava, we get volcano. We know there's molten stuff coming up from deep down. We know when we tried to drill as far as we could, and we only got 8 miles, 12 kilometers, the heat, the sheer heat, just everything stopped working. Like, you couldn't go any further just because of the heat. So we know the deeper we go, the hotter it gets. And they were talking about how they don't understand how the sun could give us that heat and stuff like that. But I was thinking about it, and you can't really get it if you're still thinking about flat Earth. But see, when you start thinking about the Earth being spherical, it starts to make sense. But they said, the mainstream science said that the heat is there because when the Earth formed, the heat was created. There's 3 reasons, they said, that when the Earth was formed: friction, and there was a third one, I'm not too sure. But I think it's none of them. I've got my own little theory why I think the Earth's core is so hot. And it's got to do with we're constantly getting bombarded from Earth's rays. It's hitting we're shielded mostly from most of them. Only bits get through to us, some infrared, but most of it is blocked. And it's scattered across the atmosphere. And it goes in to the North Pole. It goes in like that. And in the South Pole, it goes in like that. When the sun's energy is battering our magnetosphere, there's like a shield around Earth. It protects us from these protons, this dangerous space weather, this solar wind that's constantly hitting Earth. Apparently this is what causes earthquakes as well. It makes a magnetosphere wobble when there's a big CME. If it hits our magnetosphere, there's a wee wobble, and apparently it shakes the Earth a wee bit, and you get a bit of earthquake. But what got me thinking about the heat, the centre of the Earth, was do you know how you get the southern and northern lights? And it's the electrons going in, the positive electrons going in. If you just imagine like a toroidal sort of motion, like the positive electrons going in like that into the Earth. So they've got to meet at a point, and probably in the middle. This is where everything's probably compressed, and this is probably where the heat comes from, because we get protected from most of it. And this is what got me thinking about the whole north. This is why they probably don't fly over the north or the south, because there's so much electromagnetic and just weather from the sun. It's dangerous. It's dangerous for electrics. So don't think planes like to fly into those areas in the north and the south because of this space weather coming in. It's just like I said, guys, it's just a theory. But to me, it kind of makes sense why the inner, because the heat's got to go somewhere. Where does it go? If we're protected by it, then you see it going in. There's got to be some kind of heat generated by the solar wind hitting our magnetosphere, then going into the poles. So I think the core could be heated by that, but I'm not sure. It's just a wee idea I had. It's just something I'm playing with, Del. Like you like to say play. It's just the same as imagination, mate. I like to say visualize. Visualize is better than imagination. I'm having a coffee tonight because I think it could be a long one. I'm thinking about bringing some people on. Maybe. It depends how the chat goes. So I'm going to have a look at the chat, see who's on. Because I don't like just letting any willy-nilly onto the show. Again, anyone could do anything. But I was thinking about letting some people on. But I'm going to go through those videos about Del and Glenn's one as well, talking about the spanners and the wrenches and how if you just if you just muted my video, you'd think it was the hot potatoes or whatever's chat or. And it's funny because I looked over that video and DeLee's, he's one of my I've only got 2 moderators when I have hangouts. One of the mods is Laurie Gale, and everyone within Fat Earth knows Laurie Gale's all right and they can trust her. She's not going to kick you out for nothing. And DeLee's, he wasn't even there that night. So there was one spanner going up and doing that chat that night. One spanner. And Dell's got a problem with that. If you go into free chan, everyone's got a spanner. Actually, I've no. They didn't give me a spanner. But everyone else has got a spanner. And all you keep seeing is Shruminati or whoever it is. They start pressing 6 return, 6 return, 6 return, 6 return, 6 return. And it's just fucking, the whole chat just gets spammed with 6s, 6s, 6s. People are saying hello, and it's away in a second. The people on the panel don't even get a chance to read anything in the chat because there's idiots spamming it with 666, 6666. I went into doing the hangouts because Glenn, you've never done a hangout, so you don't know. I know by experience. I'm talking through experience. Me and Laurie done one, and we were trying to have a conversation and stuff like that, and we were looking at certain pages, and I wasn't paying much attention to chat. But I realised I had over 90 people in at one point, and I think about 20 or 30 of them were trolls. Just people typing in nasty words, like the N word, like for black people and Jew, and just horrible words. And it was just constant. And there was people trying to do a comment, and before you could look at it, it was away, and it was just covered in this crap. And so people were just spamming. So I had to make somebody moderator, so if anyone starts spamming, you just kick them. Simple as that. I can't do it all the time because I'm looking, I'm screen sharing, I'm talking to the people in the panel. I do try and look at chat, but I don't see everything all the time. So I don't know why Glenn's got such a big problem with me having one moderator in my chat. I was going to go for the no moderators. That was my plan to begin with. But after that night where I was just getting totally spammed and no one could enjoy the chat, no one could add anything, no one could do anything. So there has to be a mod in at some point, or anybody could get away with anything. And like I said, free chan is just a fucking waste of time. If you ask any critical questions on free chan, they just start spamming it with 66666, and it's just constant. It just, and your comment just disappears, never to be seen again. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a good night. I'm Mr. Lonely tonight, so that's why I'm having my hangout. My missus is away working and my son's away, so I could do this nice and loud. I can shout as loud as I want and can smoke as much as I want. And like I said, I've got a proposal about the moon, guys. Because when me and my mate were talking about seeing the moon in different angles, I want to do like a moon tracking thing. Not even a moon tracking. I just want people to take account when they see the moon. It doesn't have to be every day. It's just when they see it. And I just like them to take maybe a photograph or a video. Do a time. Do the position you were facing and where you are. And that's all we need, really. And if we could match all these images of the moon and the crescents, because in the northern hemisphere, when it's a crescent that way, in the southern hemisphere, it's actually a crescent that way. Crazy, yeah? So we could do with quite a few people from the south. I wouldn't mind John LeBon, people like that in Australia, to give us pictures of the moon. So we could match them to the pictures of the moon in the north. And if they're upside down or all over the place, it's not a flat surface. It's not a flat plane. If the moon's the other way about, inversed, whatever. It's a good way, guys. It proves it to me as well. You can't do it with the sun. You can't do it with the sun because the sun's never got a crescent on it. The sun doesn't wax or wane, or there's no gibbous to it. There's nothing. But with the moon, you can actually see a pattern. You can read the moon's face if it tilts or if it changes in the shadow and the crescent. You can detect all these things that you can't do with the sun because of the glare and the atmosphere and everything else. So I think, guys, January, we should start just looking at the moon and taking an image, just writing down where it is, what time, where you are. We don't even need that much information. It could be just where you are and the date. If you're in the southern hemisphere and I'm in the northern hemisphere and you take a photo of a moon, I take a photo of a moon, we'll look at them together and see what we get. It's quite a simple idea. Anyway, guys, I'm going to look at chat, see who's all in. It's a wee bit earlier, so I might not have as many of my American followers, but I need to do one for the Brits as well. Let's see who's all here. Right, we have Laurie Gale as usual, Illuminati. Laurie, I do it for fun. Oh, that's Illuminati trying to explain why he spams the chat with sixes. Let's see, who's all in? Right, we've got Jordan Rains, he was in first. He says that Jed, social blade for Globebusters is Globebusters 1. All right, I'll need to check that out. Lee's here, thumbs up, even though I think Lee hates me, because I've seen some comments by Lee in the past. David Black said, howdy, MGD, Billbox, more confused people that are too scared to call themselves flat earthers. Pillbox, Cheech, Illuminati, Lee, John Watson, Angel Raven, Freedom Patriot. Hey Jed, I finally get to catch one of these live. Well, that's why I'm kind of doing it early as well. I thought, it's not exactly early, but it's early for me. John Watson, the vet, come on my chant and said she's done. Oh, just go away, John Watson. God. You didn't know where your loyalties lie. Oh, Vancouver's here. Ryan, when Kitty Litter Crew shows up, they'll say hello to you. Angel Raven, Shed versus Jed. UFC 208. FEVBC, hello. Haley, David Blackson, how about a Texan? Ryan Alves, you responded, Glenn. I said hello to you yesterday. Always Ryan. 6 fun, lol. 6. Didn't you bother, Illuminati? You will get kicked. This is why we've got people moderating it. For just pointless spamming. Which is frustrating on FreeChan. That spamming is unreal. It's fucking unreal. Laurie, I do it for fun. We got spammed bad that night. So we got moderators so people don't say 666. No, we've got moderators so people don't spam the chat, Glenn. I can't wait till you start doing your own hangouts, Glenn. And you'll experience it yourself. So, I've noticed right now you like to make 15-minute videos, but you don't put any you don't let anyone comment, Glenn, and you don't let anyone like or dislike your videos. So, who's restricting who here? Dan Winfield. What's a weird again, Jed? I don't know, Dan. I think it's a word a child made up one day in a playground, and it somehow got to adults. It's just a narcissist ploy. They get a boner and dupe his delight from it, says Angel Raven. FEBC, you should stick with your original plan, Jet. Laurie Gale, I have the whole house full. I am sneaking this one earbud. Timaeus, many flat earthers are as intolerant as the Globetrotters to alternative perspectives. That's true. Never heard it before. Everett's made Paisley banter, maybe. FreeChan is no more. Show me something pre-1300 AD showing the current pattern the moon has. Good luck. Rob S. Jed's getting wild and crazy tonight. Wahoo party. David Blackson, why is the moon not full if the moon and the sun are out at the same time? Music Man, hi. Laurie Gill, hi Music Man. I got virtual reality headset on. It looks like flat where I'm sitting. JLB is a media guy. He doesn't do that stuff. Lol. Timaeus, it's especially noticeable on Free Chan, is why I said that. Music Man, hi Laurie. John Watson, most of them are Ute. Jan, the moon is reflected in the dome. Dome? It's maybe dome, maybe. I have a cousin in Australia right now, Jed. I'll get some vids from her. Nice one, Rock Vibrations. That's what I want to hear. JLB is hunting dinosaurs. Maybe. Where was that? I hate that when you scroll down, it seems to jump. Hi, Raven. In and out right now. Lots of company here. YouTube, ending the FE season, swapping to other stuff. Who does that? FE was on roll back when you saw you. Very strange. I don't think JLB ever took it seriously. Lee Jed, lol. Tim is, not that it matters much. I thought flat earthers were supposed to be enlightened and stuff. I like you, man. Yeah, hi, Laurie. Hi, Jed. Hi, Jeremy. Illuminati Panda. You're right, Jed. You got a better chance of tracking the moon with results than you do the sun. You have, man. Sometimes even globe heads make sense. Even flat stars. Jed got the hump, lol. FEBC. John, you are walking a very slippery slope, my friend. John Watson. You like to give me shit in other chat rooms, but you like to come up here into my shit and act the good guy. Well, John, you're bordering, mate. You are bordering. You're walking a very slippery slope, pal. Angel Raven, it's Poncho Chan now. Lee, I'm taking back my 5 thumbs up. It's my platform. Lol, Lee. It's called YouTube, not everybody tube. Space-time continuum, YouTube also known as. That was another thing. When I done my hangout yesterday, Glenn, it was always planned as a monologue. It was never going to be a dialogue. Anyone could have said they wanted in my chat. They weren't going to get in because I'd never planned for anyone to come in. I'd made a presentation up. I was going to present it. I was going to talk a wee bit with the chat room, but I never ever once said anyone was coming on. This is just a way for me to make a video without having to go through the hassle of editing and uploading. Like if you just make a live Google Hangout, as soon as you're finished, it's uploaded as a video within minutes. If you made a vlog for 4 hours sitting in your house and then you went to upload it, or 2 hours and went to upload it, it would take forever. So this is a good way to do a presentation, make a video that you would usually do, and just post it. So it was never going to be a dialogue with anyone, Glenn. I don't know why you got that illusion. Damn these slippery slopes. John Watson, I'm under attack. Cheech, debunking dinosaurs law futile. Dan Winfield, can't believe you see 20 to 40 mile across craters on the moon if it's supposed to be as far away as they say it is. Dan, yep. Say I am sorry, Glenn. Angel Raven, hey Freedom Patriot, how's the chip shot? Glenn's going to star in a minute, and it's a shame because Glenn's all right. I like Glenn, but recently I think because the potatoes have been so stale right now, there's nothing going on. And just like Validation Boy says, when we start destroying each other, simple as that. So guys, I'll show you, where will I start? Will I start with the videos or will I start with my moon stuff? My pictures that I take in the night. And Venus, oh man, Venus was so bright. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And Mars, you can see Mars as well, man. I'll show you. I took a photo. You can see Mars and Venus and the crescent moon. It was fucking amazing. Right, well, we'll have a look at the videos. I think we'll right. So, guys, we have the infamous Dell. God, look, he's aging. He's aging, man. I think I'm aging him. I think he's having sleepless nights about Jed Skeptic. He's aging. Oh my God, man. He must have aged 10 years overnight with my hangout. When these star rotations must have kept him up all night. He must have been having nightmares about them. Anyway, guys, I'll let you hear what he's got to say. And he kind of contradicts everything he was saying to me before, because he knows he can't go anywhere with his argument. He knows he can't go anywhere with his argument, so he's trying to branch out to philosophy and imagination, even though he just wants proof to begin with, and he wasn't talking about models. Anyway.
Hang on a wee minute. Right. So, obviously, I'll put that on at the beginning, evidence versus proof. And a lot of talk about star trails, a lot of talk about people just ignoring things for the sake of ignoring them. So I'm going to explain why, for me, I came to the conclusion that, referencing the sky gives me absolutely zero proof for the shape of Earth I'm standing upon. But at the same time, I'm going to play with a couple of ideas, just using some of the arguments that
Play with a couple of ideas. So is this not using your imagination there?
Certain other people use, and they insist that because of what they see in the sky means that you live in a fucking globe. None of them, not one person can come forward and explain the logic and provide the measurable proof that the Earth is actually a globe by sky observations. It's just basing things on an assumption. And then,
well, guys, I think if we do our little moon thing, if enough people are up for doing this moon experiment, I think we will be able to tell. Because if the moon looks a different shape for a different part of the world, if the crescent's different, we're obviously on a curve somewhere.
Insisting that that's the case. So they use, because they want to push the story of a globe, they then look for evidence that they can try and support their story with. So, as I say, they use sky observations as evidence for their assumption or their claim that they're pushing, but it's no conclusive proof that the Earth is actually a globe.
Dale, it's not conclusive proof, but it's evidence. It's evidence, and you say it's evidence. It's not proof, but it's evidence. Well, evidence, Dale, is better than nothing at all.
And I can show why. I can come up with other arguments that
you never came up with them. I gave you those ideas. Dell, you have no free will. I control your mind.
It's not an argument where I'm saying it's trying to prove anything. All that I'm going to show up is that you can come up with other arguments, to counter what it is they're saying.
Now you can copy other arguments.
For a start, who really knows exactly what the sun, the moon, and the stars are? What they're made of? Where?
That's not the question. I didn't care what the stars and the moon and whatever's made from. I'm talking about the pattern they make in the sky. For thousands of years, man's been using stars and the planets for direction, for time, for everything. The sky's been a guide to mankind. Why should we just start ignoring it now?
They actually are. All these factors, nobody does. So until that's established, what they're trying to claim from their limited perspective is totally flawed. Until we have actual proof of what the stars, the sun, and the moon are. So, as I say, as I say, for me, the easiest way to put it, proof is conclusive and evidence is not. Right? It's like it's a suggestion. And I've also put the red herring thing up. So, way to put it, proof is conclusive and evidence is not.
Proof is conclusive, evidence is not. But like I said, evidence is still better than nothing, Del. Nothing. You provide nothing. Nothing. Nothing for flat earth, nothing for globe, nothing for concave, nothing for anything. You provide nothing. And fact, I know there's a thing called facts, and facts aren't always fixed. The planet Pluto was a planet, the 9th planet, and that was a fact for a long time. I learnt it in school. I learnt it in high school, and when I left high school, it changed. Suddenly, Pluto was not a planet. It was not the last or 9th planet anymore. It was just another boulder in space. So that fact soon turned back around.
Right, it's like it's a suggestion. And I've also put the red herring thing up.
It's not a suggestion. When you look at the star trails, you're not suggesting anything. You're showing evidence that the stars rotate differently in different hemispheres. It's not a suggestion. When you can show hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of footage of the stars rotating in different directions, it's not an assumption.
Because, a red herring is a piece of information that's meant to be misleading, that's not really relevant to the question. And, also sophism, a clever but false argument, especially one used deliberately to deceive.
You see him reading that?
Deceive, because that's what the globe is. They use tricks like, the issue with perception, the vanishing point, and they try and use that as an argument for curvature.
Sorry, but all I hear when it comes to flat Earth is perception. But they still can't explain why suns sink into the ground and they don't go smaller. The sun doesn't go smaller when it sets. It stays the same size all day, from when it rises to when it sets. It doesn't disappear like fucking perspective. It's flat Earth that uses perspective more than anybody as an argument.
When there's no curvature, that's why, I pointed out before, they always want you to view over water straight in front of you in order to get this effect. That is sophism, because, it's an argument that's really there to deceive you.
I didn't want people to look over water. As I stated in my last hangout, I tried to do the experiment over the water, and there was too many variables to get a conclusive result. So I started looking elsewhere for evidence.
Because if they're saying that's true, you would have it from left to right. Okay, so there's so many contradictions in a lot of their arguments, and that is sophism. Same with the water argument.
Pardon you, Dale.
They'll continue to try and throw up these ridiculous things like, look at a drip of water on a branch, look at a drip of water on the flat of a coin that's got curvature. They don't actually represent their claim, which is vast bodies of water conforming to the exterior of a sphere. They don't offer any practical examples. It's just sophism.
What do you offer? A burst football in a garden with a garden hose? Come on, Dale, let's get real here.
It's a clever but false argument, especially one used deliberately to deceive. Anybody can look up what sophism means. So,
well done, Dale. You learned something from me again.
The globe uses sophism. The globe uses red herrings, and it tries to use evidence as proof of their globe. But
it tries to use evidence. Well, I'm sure if you were in a courtroom and there was a murder trial, I'm sure the prosecutor would try to present evidence to prove his case.
That's not the case.
Which Dell doesn't offer anything. And I don't know how flat earthers are getting stuck into this trap. The smart flat earthers, they know that there has to be some kind of model, map, something for them to argue their case. But Dell, he took the stance that every top flat earther wished they could take and just deny everything.
Okay, so I'll get into it in a wee minute, about this whole star trail thing. What I thought about it initially and what I put forward initially, based on the images and videos that I was seeing, they're not my videos and images, just going by what people said and what they offered. But as I say, for me, I left it alone because, you know, it offered nothing in the way of the shape of the earth you're actually upon. We have so many issues with perception and viewing things through moisture to put it into his, you know, edit on his reduced.
This is his sun photos, by the way. So what is he trying to say? That the sun is a starry David? I've looked at I've got solar lenses and stuff here. The sun doesn't do that.
So, herrings. Now, just to show that, obviously, me being involved in this for this amount of time, the Star Trail thing was there. Right from the beginning, I had a look at it, and I heard what people were saying, you know, there's a difference in rotation depending if you're south or north, okay. Now, I could play with that either way. I could take the flat circular model and I could have a circular rotation in the centre and an opposite rotation on the outside of whatever's going on. Just one, you know, thing I could look at. But what I done, you know, being involved in the truth movement and all this Illuminati stuff, Freemasons, and you know, you've heard a lot of people saying, well, what they do is they take things and they subvert and they reverse things and they show you it in plain sight. So I played with that idea. They tell you live on the outside of a sphere, right? You know, it's not up to them to, you know, respond to it. So
I have responded to Dale. I've done my own experiments, I've done my own observations, and all you've done is sat there, denied everything, and showed some crappy photographs.
They tell you live on the outside of a sphere, right? And the stars are all out into, extending out into space. Now we know that they're fixed in their patterns and, you know, their distance to each other because we witness that in the sky every night, right? So it makes sense to me to go, okay, let me take their idea of a sphere, right? And what I'll do is all these star constellations I will put on the outer shell of the sphere so they're fixed into.
What are you doing, Dale? You're getting a bit carried away here. You're starting to use your imagination.
The outer shell of the sphere, okay? Now take the Mercator map, just for example. So we have the square map.
So he's using a projection, which is a two-dimensional fucking, it's an abstract, it's nothing. And he's using this as an example.
Okay, sitting in the middle of the sphere. So you have imagine a glass sphere, but remember that.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Imagine all the people.
Playing here with ideas and just, you know, philosophizing. So you take the glass.
Didn't philosophize, man. Stick to what you can see and observe and repeat. Didn't use your imagination. Didn't philosophize. Didn't use your brain. Just use your primal instincts to touch and sense and
sphere, okay? And you have the flat level plane in the middle. Now, if we say that's the equatorial line, and this can bring in the whole Pac-Man thing.
The Pac-Man thing. So he wants to bring in the Pac-Man thing. One of the shittest theories kicking around. I can even accept Antonio's new map with his oscillating sun more than I could accept a diamond fucking flat map with Pac-Man. These people believe that the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, then teleports. It teleports away, so the rest of the world doesn't get any sunshine.
That Laurie and Lawrence going about and other people going about, you know, still using the square map or a diamond map, whatever you like. So if we take the square in the middle with a straight equatorial line, okay, and we start the sphere balanced over that flat platform with the sun directly, we can see the sun's fixed into the sphere or another sphere out with the sphere that the stars are in, whatever you like. But, you know, we're just playing here. So there's the equatorial line and we start the sphere. Okay, now the sphere rotates, right? Just just the same as they say the stars are out there and it's the Earth that's rotating. So let's say the stars are fixed into the outer sphere and it's the outer sphere that rotates. Okay, it revolves. So if we start it on the equator, okay, so it's revolving this way. To the right is we have the North Star. To the left is we have the South.
I think I explained this in the last vlog, Dale, and you're just using it. You've not got any original thoughts.
Okay, so as you rotate that, you look to the right, you're getting clockwise, anti-clockwise. You look to the left, you're getting the opposite. Now, if the sun's over the equatorial line, and we could say there's two suns, so...
We could see there's two suns. Prove that, Dale. Prove that. We could say there's two suns. You say that we all talk shit, and we shouldn't observe the sky. Well, observe the sky enough to know there's not fucking two suns.
If it's rotating and it gets to, you know, setting, there could be another one coming up here. Now, seasons, if it's to be summer in the southern hemisphere, the sphere rotates, wobbles to this side. So the...
Well done, you've just explained the globe. Anyway.
In the middle, and, you know, a curved, looking...
He's still using his imagination here.
Perspective. My point was that when these people say you just rubbish the sky, you know, of course I gave it serious consideration and serious thought, but at the end of the day...
At the end of the day, you wanted to believe in flat Earth, so you ignored it.
I'm a realist. You know, if I had some imagery for that, you know, I would show it, but, you know, you get the gist there, you know, inside the sphere, flat level plane, you know, look at a gyroscope, along that line means, okay?
So this is what he supports, some kind of flat level plane floating in a globe. What's Dell trying to tell us here?
And there may be outer layers, it could be like onion skins. It was interesting last night, you know, I went on to Jamie Brown's hangout and he was, you know, talking about some philosophical ideas, you know, mind-body.
Can you prove any of this mind-body stuff?
Ideas, which is something I would like to discuss as well. I may go live tonight, I'm not sure. I'll check with some other people and see.
You'll check if Jed's got any new material out so you could use it in your next hangout, but it looks like you used all your cards in one shot here, mate.
See if they're free for it, if anybody else isn't.
But I'm giving you something now. This is a wee bit material for you, Dale. If you're watching, you can watch this and try and use it in your next hangout.
This coming on and discussing like mind-body philosophy, you know, who we are, do we have a spirit, or are we just a meat sack and consciousness is just a byproduct of that? Is there life after death? You know, why are they hiding what they're hiding?
Stick to what we can observe. Life after death. You can't observe life after death, Dale. Stick to what we can observe, measure and repeat.
Could it be empowering to us? Does it take us back to the true natural?
Oh, God. I think that's enough of that, guys. But you get my gist. Dale practically used most of my material from my last hangout. He's now using his imagination, but this is why he didn't want to. This is why Dale didn't want to mention a model or any theory about flat Earth, because it'll get debunked, and they don't want to face that. It's an easy way. It's a get out of jail card to just deny everything. So, as you can see, he used the word sophism. I learned that word from Tim Osman. I thought that's a good term. That sophism. I like that. It just rolls off the tongue. Sophism. So I made a video about sophism. I think it was Tim Osman, something sophism, and then I made my hangout last night about sophism. And what does he start talking about? Does he think that people watch his hangouts and don't watch mine? I think the same people that watch his hangouts watch my hangouts. So does he not know that people will be like, the fuck? Jed was just saying this last night. I didn't get it, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. So that was Dell. Our loved Dell. So there's some material for you, Del. You can maybe have a hangout the mornings, night, 7:30 usual time. I'll be watching. I want to hear more about your diamond Pac-Man model, Del, and your 2 sons. That was an interesting one, and how everything's spinning like that. Aye. Anyway, I'm going to check chat. There's quite a few people in the night. Maybe I should do it earlier, usually, most of the time. We'll see who's in. Right. Let's go up. Because there's been a lot of chat. Oh, there's the Scarecrow. How you doing, man? Good hangout you had the other night there with Conspiracy Mystic. Hello, Wormwood. Angel Raven. Hey, Horwood70. What's up? Laura Gale. I can't understand Del. VE Vancouver. Scott, I hear them loud and clear. Hello, Laurie. British. Now, that's a different story. And Martin, what? He's got a language of its own. Rob, that's Crow. Space Continuum. Thank God neither of them are Glaswegian, because they'd really be fucked. Angel Raven. Welsh is his. That never stopped. Dead. Calm down. This guy got a Tivik tracksuit. And don't forget about the glasses. Rob S. No, the imagination. No, do not visualize. Bet you're glad my video's under 15 minutes. Hi, Jed. Is he imagining? Who cartoon? Cartoon head. Dan Winfield. Bad times, Richard. Cartoon head. Lol. Hi and Happy New Year. Happy New Year, cartoon head. You're a new face. Gem Panda. Oh, poor Del. I'm running out of names to choose. Richard Clark. Hey, Gemp. Open a window, Richard. Hey, Rich. So there's loads of hellos. Let's see. Quite a busy night, though. Jeremy fancies Jed. Angel Raven, 444. Look at the steam out of his ears. He will. I think I aged Del by 10 years at least with the hangout I had last night. I think I aged him about 10 years. That's why I like those hangouts I do when I present stuff, because Del just seems to sit there. He doesn't want to show any evidence. Maybe what I'm showing isn't conclusive proof, but it's enough evidence for me to form a hypothesis. And if he's not got anything, Illuminati, Gemary, Gem you puff, Gem Panda lol. I heard Jeremy's got kids, so I don't think he's a puff. He's maybe just a bit feminine. Vancouver, I don't believe in 2 sons either. I got multiple videos on my own with the sun. To me in Vancouver, the line of ball must be complete darkness. Glaswegian is angry Scottish accent. Illuminati, no. Timaeus Law, Poncho Pete actually renamed his channel Poncho Pete Chan and is running hangouts like Free Chan. I would never go on a panel with that Poncho Pete. The guy just screams his head off all the time. And anyone that gets into a decent argument and makes a decent point, he just starts screaming. It's just a fucking... It's a waste of time with that guy. Did you wipe your paws, Vancouver? Lol, says Rock Liver. Hey, Vince. Gem Panda, lol. Aberdeen, lol. Timaeus, Free Chan actually is Poncho channel now. I thought it was a joke. Johnny Boy, John. The Scarecrow, David Blackson. There's a video of a plane travel where the sun goes away, down, and comes back over hours. A video. Oh yeah, I wish I was good. I don't ever want to know now. I don't care much about my paws as to what I get dragged in the litter box. I just want to drag anything out of the litter box. Fife talks pretty intimidating. Gem Panda, yes, yes, yes. What's that? No, 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 no. Yes, 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 yes. Right, okay. As we can see, the chat's going pretty good. Happy New Year, the Scarecrow man. Right, okay. I'm going to look at another video. And it's Mr. Vancouver BC. I'm just going to address a few things with you, Del, since you're in the chat. I know your videos didn't get many views nowadays, so what I'm doing right now, I'm taking the bait, man. I'm taking the bait. But you're really barking up the wrong tree, Glenn. You should really be fucking on the Imaginary Curves case or somebody like that. You know better, Glenn. You know fucking better. Honestly, mate. I didn't care why you're doing this. To me, it's very suspect. Right, anyway, guys. Let's listen to Glenn now.
Just gonna Flat Earth Vancouver.
So that was Flat Earth Vancouver. He goes on to say that
It's his fucking show. He has a right.
he says it's my show. I've got the right to give whoever I want wrenches. Blah blah blah. He says that that my show just looked like a fucking like the kitty channel shows, whatever. He says that people were screaming to get on, like Chris that he likes, were screaming to get on, but I didn't let on. Well, like I said, Glenn, no one was going to get on to begin with. I never made it, and it wasn't a show. You keep saying this word show. It's not a show. To me, I was making a presentation last night. The good thing about doing live hangouts is that you can interact with your viewers when you're presenting, which is pretty cool. So this video here, Glenn, it just wasn't cool, mate. It just wasn't cool. I'm losing a lot of respect for you, mate. I'm sorry, it's just, it happens when this kind of, I've never once brought out a hit video on you. Now you've done a couple in a row now. And what have I done to you, Glenn? Think about it, Glenn. What have I done to you? You need to get a grip. Anyway, let's see. Aye, so this morning, what was this afternoon, I seen the two videos and I just thought, why do I try sometimes? Why do I try? But it's worth it because there's still people out there that's worth speaking to. There is. I know there is. That's why I don't just disappear, because I've still got hope for the few out there that are willing to show me proofs and willing to listen to what I've found evidence-wise. Like Dale said, it's not proof, but you have to gather evidence, and if you see it repeating and repeating and repeating, well, you can form a hypothesis and get different people to do the same thing. If they all kind of match, well, you're getting somewhere there. And I think a moon tracking thing, guys, I honestly think we should track the moon this month, because I think when we see the moon crescent, people below the equator see it the other way around, and people on the equator see it either like I think it's like a bullhorns, or like a U or like an N. So I think the moon tracking will probably prove the curve or the globe or flat Earth, either way. But tracking the moon's probably the best bet. Right, I'll show you some pictures I took the night, guys, as well. Some nice pictures. Yeah, I'll need one in my 40s. Just give me a wee minute while my stuff's loading up. I took some pictures tonight of the moon. Venus as well, man. And Mars. I got Venus Mars and the moon and maybe Neptune. They reckon Neptune was beside Mars as well. And I think I can see it with some of my photographs. So I think I managed to photograph 3 planets tonight and the crescent moon. It was fucking awesome, man. It was awesome. It's amazing, guys. Once you snap out of this flat Earth trance you're in, you don't just take on board NASA stuff. You don't go back to NASA, no way, because they're still bullshitting. But you start doing your own observations. Start doing your own independent observations. Nothing to do with the top brass and flat Earth, and nothing to do with the top brass and globe. You do your own independent research. You do your own evidence gathering, and you form your own hypothesis, and then you can sleep at night. Fuck everybody else. If they don't want to follow that journey, if they want to be stuck, that's up to them. I noticed that in the hangout the other night there, certain flat earther was like, oh, this feels like a classroom and stuff like that. It's like, well, some people just don't want to learn. They just want to hang around and laugh and chat about flat earth all the time. Why not look at evidence? Because this moon tracking, it could prove the flat earth. It could prove it for you guys. Well, you guys didn't want to go rushing to do the moon experiment because you know it'll probably prove a globe. If I'm seeing a crescent moon, like I said, if you're late in joining, guys, right? Last month, I'll get my pen out. Right, last month, I seen the moon like that, and I was speaking to my mate about the moon, blah blah blah, and he, at the same time when I was looking at this moon, he was in the Emirates, and he could see it like that. He could see it like that in the Emirates. So, what's going on there? Apparently, people in the north, when we see it like this, and the shadows that side, if we see it like that in the north, guys, with the shadow on this side, people in the south see it like that, the shadow on that side. People below the equator. So I think if we look at the moon, guys, write down our location, the time, the date, where the position you're facing. It doesn't. You probably don't even need the position you're facing, really. You just need to see the shape, the shadow, the face of the moon. You're probably better getting it when it's directly south. Like if everyone could get when the moon's directly south of them, and write down the time and where they are and their images and show us their images or footage, we could try and do something with the moon to see if we're on a curve. Because if we're on a flat plane, we should be all seeing something similar. But if we're seeing some dramatic stuff upside down and fucking stuff with the moon, there must be a curve going on there. So I'd really like to follow this moon tracking thing up. After this hangout, when it's uploaded as a video, if you leave a comment saying you're willing to take part in watching the moon, there's a guy called, I'm subscribed to him, he's not got many subs, but it's called Justin Sherwood. He does some nice moon imagery. There's another one, I can't mind his name, but he does live hangouts looking at the moon. Really cool stuff. Anyway, I need a coffee. I'm getting a dry mouth. I'm going to screen share some photos with you guys. Photos I took tonight, by the way. Right, I realised that when you share photographs on this thing, what I'm going to have to do is put them on my desktop first. I can't share them straight off my photos, so I'm going to have to select them all and pull them onto my desktop. That's probably going to take a wee while. Anyway, guys, I'm I'm just uploading these pictures to my desktop, and I'll go through them and we'll look at the crescent moon tonight, guys. If any were more southern, did it look different? We can have a look at the comments and see if you've seen the same thing as me, or if it looked different. I'm going to make a coffee. So we'll be back in a minute, guys. Cheers. Man, see Apple Mac and that beach ball, it spins. Fucking. I think there's just too many things happening at once right now. I'm trying to do shit. Anyway, I'm going to make a coffee. I was going to put on some music. I'm trying to put on some music, but because I'm uploading these photographs. Hope you're doing well, Del. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. That's just a pain in the arse. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Then again, what's happened to that music, man? That's annoying. I was just trying to put on some music whilst I was uploading those photographs. I've just got this beach ball spinning. I don't know what's happening here, guys. Do you know what? I'll show you a couple now. There's a couple went to my desktop. I can't click anything on my desktop. I've got this beach ball spinning, man. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. I do like Apple Macs, but that beach ball thing spinning, oh, does my head in. So old school. Anyway, we'll have a wee look at chat now. I took that video down because my wife asked me to share that video more than I did. Kiss Jed, you still talking to me? Robert Forrest. Damn, Laurie, take no shit though. I just don't get it. I had 20 views. You have made it a TV use. Girl that made her first video in a closet. Now you're busting up cults, really. Glenda is starring in my newest video. Him and his no wrenches and the litter box. Glenda, quit while you think you're ahead. Dan Pratt called you a something. You cried and threatened to take your YouTube account down. Now you're going to tear up cults. I don't know what that shit's all about. Is Truth Seeker in the house? Chris Truth Seeker? Or is it just Truth Seeker? Jed, don't waste your time on the Muppets left. They're not worth helping, says J39. I agree, Jed. Illuminati 666. I don't mind 666 in one sentence. You can do that if you want, but posting 666 all the way down 1,000 times is just not on. Right, guys, I'm trying to show some video and photographs I took tonight, but my desktop's fucking playing up. I don't know why. I don't know how to cancel it. Maybe if I do one at a time. Right. Let's see. I took one video through the day. Actually, I took 4 videos through the day, but one good one. You can see Venus. And I took quite a few at night time. But same again, this beach ball, man. I don't know if I have to shut this down and then fucking start up again. The dreaded beach ball spinning. Every one of my files and folders I can't click on my desktop because the beach ball is just spinning. This is crazy. Right, anyway, guys, here's something interesting I could share with you. right here. The moon. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. If we want to do this whole moon experiment thing, we need to understand certain things about the moon and the phases. But that's not totally important. All that's really important is getting an image of the moon and your location, the date. As the moon orbits the Earth, we see the sunlit part of the moon. The moon orbits near the equator of the Earth. People in different hemispheres see the moon in a slightly different way. In the southern hemisphere, people see the moon upside down, so the side which is shining, sunlit, seems the opposite from the northern hemisphere. This is phases of the moon as seen in the northern hemisphere, these ones. Phases of the moon as seen in the southern hemisphere. So you see at the bottom, it's like it's the opposite. Crazy, yeah? Like, you see the pattern, it's flipped on the other side. Countries in the different hemispheres see the moon from a completely different vantage point from each other. In the northern hemisphere, the first quarter looks like a growing D, while in the southern hemisphere, it looks like a C. In the northern hemisphere, the last quarter looks like a C, while in the southern hemisphere, it looks like a D. In the northern hemisphere, the sunlit part of the moon moves from right to left. So this is the term they use, DOC. D is the first quarter, O is the full moon, and C is the last quarter. It's like the shape of the actual letters, like the D, the O is the full moon, and the C is the last quarter. In the southern hemisphere, the sunlit part moves from the left to the right, which is known as cod. First quarter, full moon, last quarter. So you can see here, guys, the northern hemisphere for February and the southern hemisphere for February. So I think, guys, if we can get enough people on these hangouts, and fuck the sun tracking. The sun is just too there's too much glare, and it's not enough. You can't tell any shape looking at the sun. You can't tell, and if the sun's going to be so far away, it's not very good to judge this. The moon, because it's closer, is a lot better to judge. So guys, I think we should do a moon tracker experiment for flat Earth and for globe Earth, because if we can disprove this, it'll prove flat Earth. But if our evidence kind of correlates with this stuff, well, it looks like we could be on something more spherical. I'll let's have a wee look at that. When I finish my coffee, I was just letting it stew. Oh shit. So guys, who's up for a moon tracking experiment? Eh? Eh? He's chicken. He's chicken. I might prove the Earth's no flat. Right, just having a look at wee comments in the chat. Space-time continuum. Muscle, I use the word interview loosely. Right, where we going? What's the subject? I see lots of sixes in the chat. Must be spam. Amanda, Jed, respect for your last two hangouts as you focused on the FE topic predominantly. Whether I agree or disagree at this point is irrelevant as you are doing presentations on FE/globe material. Glenda, you have a wife unless you bought her from Russia, says Richard Clark. Amanda, is what I'm interested in. Rob S, nah. Void mirror, toilet pan. Richard Clark, hello Amanda. Laura Gale, you're insane, Glenn. You know that? Robert Forrest, that ancient Scots history is as interesting as hell. Robert Forrest, thanks for those references you made in the comments. I did see them. But because I'm doing these hangouts more, I can interact more with you people rather than the comments. The comments take just as much time as these hangouts, really. I flew last night from Manchester to Alicante, says Amanda. Ooh. Vancouver says, Flat Earth made me do it. Rob S, sure, Jed, sure it is. Amanda Slevin, the moon needs more attention. Will you discuss Martin's interview with PK? Interview, is that what you call that? God's sake, guys. That wasn't an interview. That was like a fucking, don't know what that was. But PK, he's on it. Oh, he's a horrible guy, eh? I used to like some of his material, but he's just a shell or disinfo. Me and Jed got your new apples at the same time. What he chooses to do with his and what I choose to do with mine, that's up to us. Amanda, I videoed it 1,250 miles south. It was as you depicted. Blue, bull's horn shaped. Muscular rock lover. Interview, is that what it was? Dear me, Martin can talk a glass-eyed to sleep. Truth seeker, lol. Rob S, lol. Moon live now on now. FYI for your information. YouTube. Cool. Timaeus, none of this matters, Jed. Flat earthers are flat earthers because they can't see a curve. Everything else is turned to bullshit, says Timaeus. Rob S, I yell at the moon all the time. Doesn't even phase it. Rock lover says, cool. Martin never let him finish. PQ was like, I don't understand his accent. Timaeus, until they see a curve, they will twist reality to fit the lack of perceived curve. Void mirror, true. He is correct. Followed it all the way down to Alicante. Stars also viewed. So that's Amanda maybe starting to realise it's not what the flat earthers, well, the flat earthers aren't going, they're avoiding certain things. There's no doubt about that. They're avoiding the lunar eclipse. Even Dell and Beyond the Imaginary Curve, he went as far to mention the star rotations that I was talking about, but he never went as far to mention the lunar eclipse. And just like Eric Dubé, just like Bob and Jeranism, and just like all the other charlatans, they'll talk about a black sun. A black sun. These are people that go on about evidence and what they can see, but they talk about imaginary celestial objects. They'll not address the lunar eclipse. And this bullshit about the sun being up the same time as a lunar eclipse, that's total bullshit. For a lunar eclipse to happen, it has to be nighttime and the sun has to be on the other side of the planet to cast the shadow onto the moon. The Terminator line percentage of the moon would be different all over the flat earth. The percentage would depend on your viewing location. Robert Forrest, I wonder if PK and Jungle are the same guy. Richard Clark, I will have to watch it because PK must have not known who Martin was. Well, PK didn't want to talk about flat earth, so flat earth British. We have PK and he doesn't want to talk about flat earth at all. Nice guest. P. Mars, can you not see the black sun? Harvey Chuckles, law. 666 Truth Seeker, touche. Amanda, I have no issues whatsoever with anybody personally. I'm not interested in gossip. I watch for FE Globe material, and I wasn't in it for the gossip. To me, it's not gossip. When I go for certain characters in the flat earth and criticize them and critique them, I'm not attacking them. I'm critiquing them. I'm not interested in the personal details, where they live, who they're married to, who their dad was, or anything like that. I'm not bothered about that. It doesn't interest me. My beach ball's still on my desktop. That's fucking annoying. I need to try and get rid of that somehow. I wonder if I can just... No. Does anybody know how to cure the dreaded beach ball on the desktop? It's not going away. Maybe it's something in here that I have to close. This is a pain in the arse, guys. I tried to show you some pictures. Old espresso. When I go to share my screen, I can't seem to share my photos window. It's on my Apple, and I can't seem to click onto my desktop. That's a shame, because I've got some really nice images, guys. Really nice images. I might just make a video of it. Anyway, there's another thing I wanted to talk about, was what were they called? The quadratrons, or it's a meteor shower. I think it's on the 3rd or the 4th of January, guys. There's going to be a meteor shower, and we can see it. And that's another thing. If we're in this enclosed system, where does the meteor? How can we predict these meteors coming? These meteor showers, we catch the tail end of them because they're in a constant orbit. We can predict each year when we're going to see them. So explain that to me. That's a strange one. The old meteor showers. Gravity. That's another thing. This is another thing that seems the flat earthers didn't like to address, and it got me thinking as well. Gravity, it's a theory and things like that. But what I really started thinking about was the zero-G flights, those zero-G flights, those plane flights. If gravity doesn't exist, why does it suddenly disappear when they do that dive? Flat earthers will say that gravity is density and stuff like that, but where does it go when they do those dives on the zero-G flights? Where does density go? What happens? If gravity doesn't exist, what happens in those planes? Strange. So that's a lot of stuff that Flat Earth can't really explain to me. I know they've got their, and it's good, it is just a theory. Gravity is just a theory. They don't really know how it works. It could be a lot to do with electromagnetism, like I was saying earlier, how we've got the 2 poles and we've got the protons, positively charged protons coming in, and electrons. Maybe that's something to do with what keeps us stuck, what pulls everything in. That toroidal, like the northern and the southern, and then you get the northern and southern lights, the northern lights in the sky. Maybe it's something to do with that keeps the heat in the earth. It's a puzzling one. But I still don't think it's flat, guys. There's lots of things that it still puzzles me, but I don't think it's flat anymore, guys. I just don't. There's quite a few things that's happened over the year and the year and a half, and the stuff I've gathered through observations myself and repeatable observations. No one has to believe me. I just know myself what I'm seeing. I'm trying to tell you guys so you don't get stuck the way I got stuck, because I got stuck in a rut. I got stuck in flat Earth. I wasn't willing to look at anything else. And flat Earth was kind of ruining a lot of things. It was like these Star Trek programs and Star Wars. It's just conditioning. And it was never conditioning. Star Trek and Star Wars was never conditioning. It was always called sci-fi, science fiction. They always said it was fiction. It was never meant to be fact. It's always called sci-fi. So once I started getting out of this whole flat earth thinking, I started enjoying my sci-fi again, guys. I did. Really started enjoying my Star Trek, and there's been quite a few space ones I've watched recently. We know it's all bullshit, like Mars mission and all this stuff with Matt Damon running about Mars and all that. We know going to Mars is bullshit, but it's cool to make a film about what if you could land on it and what if and things like that. It's cool to think about these things. It doesn't mean it's true. It's like a lot of stuff. So this was my camera. I was taking the photos. It's just a sort of basic Canon EOS. This is the 1100D model. I had the 50D, which is a better camera. The lower the numbers go, the better the camera is. On a 50D, which I was using for my animation. But if anyone's got a half decent camera, you see Martin's got a decent camera. He can get some good shots of the moon. You just check the settings. If you want to do like long exposure photography, and set your settings to bulb, and keep your finger, and set your F numbers low, your ISO about 100, and keep your finger on the bulb. Do you know what I really need? Is one of those buttons you just press and it presses the shutter for you. That's what I need, because even touching the camera gives it shake and affects the photographs. I've got a good picture of Venus tonight, and I zoomed up on it and changed the focus on it, and it made it like one of these John Cumby pictures where it looks like it was glowing and woo, but it's just camera distortion. When you start focusing it up again, it becomes crisper. But I was using this. I was also using my gimbal. This is quite a cool thing. I've showed you it before, but for you I've not seen it before. It's like a gyroscope. It's not on the now. It looks pretty useless. I'll turn it on. You need it on a level surface to calibrate it, like a flat plane, so it knows where it's at. Oh, I could do with turning the actual phone on. That is on. So, right, it's connected, so I'll turn it to camera. Right, so I'll turn this on. See there, guys? Good selfie stick, look at that. But really, you want it like that. This is so I can go like that. Notice how the camera just stays still, stays fixed to the ground. Doesn't matter how you go. It's got three gimbals. And this is what you need, guys, for decent photography. There's a gimbal there, a join there, a join there. I can move it up and down with this joystick. Move it up, move it down. You've got three different settings you can lock onto a target. This one's just like the gyroscope. But if I press it again, whoop, that was a photograph. Whoops. I just made it monochrome for some reason. I don't know what's going on. We'll use this in a while, guys. Oh, there we go. You went all impotent there for a second. I've not used it since I was using it tonight, but I've not used it properly since my homeless video. But you can do stuff on the screen from the stick. Take the photographs. It's all Bluetooth. Pretty cool though. So it's like a gyroscope, but also you can lock on. I'm trying to remember, is it 2 clicks? Oh, wait there. Right, I'm sure, is it 1, 2, 3? There we go, wait there. That's for portrait mode. That's 3 clicks. I'm sure, is it 2 clicks? 2 rapid clicks, that's it. This is so you can point now. So it's not like a gyro, I can actually point with it. You can point down at stuff, it's not staying level with the ground, which is pretty cool. And there's a lock mode as well. Press it twice again. So I've just locked onto the screen. So I can go sideways. Doesn't matter where I move, that's going to stay locked to the screen. Or, let's see. I'll lock it onto, just say something on my table, a mouse. So that's it locked into my mouse. So it doesn't matter what I do now, where I go. It's locked to my mouse. It locks on. Pretty cool. Ooh. Aye, but I've got some nice stuff on this camera actually that I took tonight. I'll try and do a Martin and show you straight off the screen. Let's see. Oh, this is my phone I only use for photographs and filming. I didn't even use this for phoning anybody. This is just for my gyro. Right. You kind of get a good picture of it. Oh shit. That was the moon and Venus, but you can't really see it that well. I'm going to upload some stuff. I didn't take any photographs, bastard. Anyway, so I'll try and upload those guys, let you see them. I was going to show you them tonight in my hangout, but it's still playing funny buggers. Anyway, I'll have a look at chat. I'm starting to slow down. And Amanda's saying, and nobody wants to cover Selene Lane's strong case for geocentric Earth, but lots of anomalies needing figured out. P. Mars, the society we're in full of cults like Jed is in the Apple iPhone cult. I like, by the way, I'm not one of these guys that's PC or Apple. I like using both. It just depends. They're just tools to me. You need to sort of adapt. Schlongmanger, I shot the very small moon too the last days and experimented with high ISO and constant shutter speed. Suddenly the whole moon was visible like a blank disc covering the not lit parts. That's the thing, guys. A lot of people spend money on these expensive cameras and they just put it on auto and just take auto shots, and you're not getting the full optimum range out your camera. You're just not. You need to learn how to set it on manual and figure out the aperture, the shutter speeds, the ISO, Things like that, and they're so easily searched. You could look up online how to shoot the stars, and it tells you the exact settings, how to shoot the stars, and you can get long exposure, beautiful photographs, guys. Timaeus, says J39. How many video you seen with people forced to address flat earth because people hounded them even though they weren't interested in talking about it, basically bullied into it? I noticed the P900 is quite a favoured camera. It seems to be that Nikon got their fingers into the flat earth as well, eh? Oh, God. Russian vids has completely lost the plot. I can't even watch his vids just for comedy value anymore. He's gone too far. He's too far gone, says Space-Time Continuum. That's true. I was listening to a one-off. Actually, I think it just rolled on. I think I was watching a video and it just rolled on to the next video. It was Russian vids. And he was talking about the Illuminati and what was he talking about again? Oh, it just seems wasted time. Oh, the fake deaths, the celebrity deaths, and so what? So what? So what if Prince faked his death? What? Same with that guy that supposedly is meant to be David Bowie, the guy that looks like David Bowie. It doesn't look like him. You can see if you actually look at his face, he doesn't look like him. He's got similar teeth. He's obviously got a similar accent, but he's fucking, he's no him. That's how these people stop getting attacked for probably the big channels, or they just spoil themselves. I heard a recent thing with David Icke, one of David Icke's videos, and he's talking about Scotland. How Scotland is behind everything. Scotland's behind everything, says David Icke. There's a reason why the Scottish Rite is one of the biggest arms of Freemasonry. As David Icke just realised this, he's not realised that it's fucking aliens. He's realised that white Europeans run this world, and not Jews. It's not Jews either. Jews are part of it, but if you look at most of the American president, how many Jews has been an American president? Most presidents have been Scotch-Irish or some form of Anglo bloodline to Britain in some way, shape or form. Even John McCain, I think he's meant to be a descendant of Robert the Bruce, John McCain. All those people, everyone thinks it's the Jews. I started noticing big names like Carnegie, and I heard of Carnegie before I heard about the institute in America. Like, Carnegie is a Scottish name. It's a Scottish name, and a lot of big companies are Scottish, like ancestry. I wouldn't be surprised if people from Scotch-Irish, because I think these people, like the Scotch-Irish and the Jews, but they're not Jews. I think they class themselves as Hebrews. So I think these people, the Hebrews, the Celts, the Jews, the Irish, this sort of group, this European group, these are who are running the world. It's not just Jews. Jews are put in positions of power, but they aren't the powerhouse. Just because you see a Jew running a bank, it doesn't mean he's running the world. He's put in that position that by the powers that you can't see. And the powers that you can't see are probably a bunch of old Scotch, Irish, white European guys sitting in some room, along with some Jewish guys, some whatever, but they won't class themselves as Jewish. They probably all class each other as the same race. The Scotch, Irish, the Brits, the so-called Jews, they probably all class themselves as the same kind of race. So it's the false dichotomy of this Jew, Nazi, black versus white, things like that. It's just all false. They're all in the same ship. They're all in the same ship. Flat Earth 4X, unsubbed. Boo-hoo. Rob S, it's the norms. John Watson, there are no FE channels on YouTube. Flat Earth 4X, this is when I realised Jed is a shell. That Bowie video was the most obvious ever. Didn't get me wrong. David Bowie's album, Black Star. I'm a David Bowie fan, guys. I'm a David Bowie fan. I've looked at the guy for years and years. I've watched him transform from Ziggy Stardust and all these different characters. I've listened to him. I've watched his music. I want him to be alive more than anybody, but I know he's not. And even if he faked his death, that guy we seen isn't David Bowie. That guy we seen is not David Bowie. What proof is there? I don't think he looks like David Bowie. I don't. And it's the same with American presidents. You see, like Kennedy has got the same facial structure as who was it? There's certain presidents that look similar, and they're saying that Kennedy never died. He was who was that president? Oh fuck, he wasn't a bad president as well. But Kennedy wasn't meant to have died. He's this other guy, and he's looking at the facial structure and stuff like that. But what Russian vids doesn't seem to understand is that most of the American aristocracy, like the politicians, and they're like the English and the British, they're interbred. Just like the British are interbred, the American, they're all related in some way, so they're all going to carry certain features that are similar. If you're interbreeding, you're going to have similar features as your cousins and stuff like that. All these people are related, so they're going to look a wee bit alike. Same facial structure and stuff like that. Cheech, I'm no angle. Timaeus, yes, Hebrews is a better term. Schlominger, there are no Jews, just members of the synagogue of Satan. Timaeus, more complete. P. Mars, true power wouldn't expose itself. That's right, P. Mars. Why would the powers that be put their face out there to be attacked? Timaeus, technically Jews are the tribes of Judah. Hebrews are from all 12 tribes. Space time continuum. Ha, Rob, I see what you did there. NWO prophet, lol. Angel Raven, just like I'm Crowish. Joe Watson, divide and rule. Rob S, lol. Robert Forrest, come on, the Templars came here. The Masons are Scottish origin. It's why we won Bannockburn. And that's true, by the way. I'll try and go with my memory. But I'm sure that the Battle of Bannockburn, I think it was 1316 or 1314, something like that. But the Scots, I think the Scots only had something like 3,500 men. And I think the English had like 10,000 men. So we were heavily outnumbered in the Battle of Bannockburn. But apparently the Scots had knights. We had Knight Templars that flanked the English army. And apparently we had the Knights Templars fighting on the Scots side. But still doesn't, how many knights would you need to still like level up the odds there? There must have been a few. There must have been a few. Maybe after that battle, that was the decisive one. Jimmy Carter, that's it, John Watson. Jimmy Carter. Russian vid says that Jimmy Carter is Kennedy. Kennedy wasn't assassinated, it's Carter. Because they've got the same ear and the same facial structure. Why wouldn't he be surprised if Jimmy Carter's like fucking Kennedy's second cousin or something like that? If you look deep enough, you'll probably find that Jimmy Carter is related to Kennedy. That's why they've got similar facial features. Like my cousin has got similar facial features to me. Russian vids is a paranoid conspiracy theorist. Satan. Satan has got a picture of It the Clown. Man, that film used to terrify me, man. It the Clown. I remember watching it. Charlie, want a balloon? And that used to petrify me, man. The Stephen King film, man. But what I found stupid was at the end, they killed it with, it was like a asthma inhaler or something. It's like, this is battery acid, and they had to use their imagination, Del, to beat the monster at the end. I think he turned into like a fucking spider or something weird like that, or an alien or fucking something like that. He turned into something you didn't expect. I was like, is that it, the clown? He was a fucking alien the whole time. But anyway, like I said, It the Clown, it used to terrify me, and there's going to be a new one. There's a new It the Clown coming out, man. Jesus Christ, my son's going to have nightmares now. Francis Begbie, can we watch all this now? I skip Rob's comment a lot. Rock lover, David Bowie smoked himself into his early grave, same as Yul Brynner and Robert Palmer. I heard a few stories about David Bowie. One of them was he tried to live off, what was it, cocaine and cornflakes and milk. That's how he lived off of. Cornflakes, milk, and he used to sprinkle cocaine on his cornflakes and eat them. And that's why he was so skinny and so pale all the time. But like I said in one of my earlier ones, like, I think David Bowie is like he's like Tesla. He's like a Tesla in the pop industry. Like JLB tries to say that Tesla was a fake, a fraud. I don't agree with that. I think Tesla gave a lot to the world. He was maybe a nutbag. The guy was bloody married to a pigeon, for Christ's sake. He was a nutbag. But even there's a fine line between genius and insanity. So he gave us alternate current. He gave the world that, and it doesn't matter what he said about Mars and aliens and radio signals to different planets, and he was maybe a bit out there, but he wasn't pushing scientism. I don't think he was pushing scientism. I think the guy just lost the plot. And obviously, I think Tesla could have been part of it. Who's saying that Tesla wasn't a Mason? Flat Earth like to use a lot of these characters like Robotham and who's the other guy? Robotham and Bird. Oh, Bird's made this flight, and all these people that he's mentioned are Masons, even though you're saying that Galileo and all these other people are Masons. The people that use guys are referencing in Flat Earth are Masonic as well. All these people. Anybody that could write a book was probably in some kind of secret society back in the day. So it's like, I think even David Bowie played Tesla. He acted as Tesla in a film, David Bowie. He actually played Tesla. And when you listen to David Bowie songs like Starman and Spiders on Mars, and you could say he was pushing scientism again, but you can't deny David Bowie's music was fucking awesome. It was awesome. And it doesn't matter, there's an era for everyone with David Bowie. If you didn't like the Ziggy Stardust era, you like the cheesy sort of commercial 80s era. There was all different eras. It's like Madonna. It's like they just morph. And even if David Bowie did fake his death, that guy is not him. David Bowie maybe knew he was dying, so he made that Black Star album. A lot of these people die of AIDS. I think George Michael probably died of AIDS. It's always pneumonia, but they wouldn't tell everybody he was dying of AIDS. That's why it's such a surprise to people when it hits them. It's like, oh, George Michael died suddenly. No, he probably died of AIDS, but nobody probably wanted to say it. They didn't want to. It's not a nice thing to die from. You don't want it on your grave. Here lies George Michael, died of AIDS. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be remembered for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these people are keeping it secret. And they die like pneumonia. And this is what usually kills AIDS victims, because our immune system's so low. It's hard to fight even things like pneumonia, and it can kill you. So I wouldn't be surprised if George Michael died of pneumonia. And like somebody was saying, Russian vids, he even referenced George Michael in one of his latest videos. And he went to a show called EastEnders. It's a English soap. And he was showing Dot Cotton listening to the radio broadcast. And then Russian vids turns around and goes, this woman, Dot Cotton, blah, blah, Ferguson, she was out of the show for 15 years and now she reappeared just for George Michael's death. Oh, what a coincidence. He's talking rubbish. Russian vids, you're talking rubbish. My missus watches EastEnders, right? And Dot Cotton is probably the longest serving fucking character in EastEnders. She's never left. She's been there the whole time. Maybe another character turned up that came out of the blue, but Dot Cotton's always been in it, as far as I know. So he needs to get some of his facts right before he starts making his bullshit. But you don't see many fat people dying of AIDS. George was fairly corpulent when he passed, although it could be complications of HIV. It could be the medication they're taking. Build them up. It's like when you get drug abusers and drug addicts. I see them around my area and they blow up. They've got big fat bums. They walk about and you're like, that guy, how's he like that? He's obviously maybe even got AIDS. You can see clearly he's on smack. How's he this big? But they go to the doctors. The doctors give them these building drinks and stuff like that, so they get fat. Is Jed saying rubbish or Rob S? Both. John Watson, Chuck Berry's School's Keith Richard. That's my amp, and I'm setting it the way I wish it. That's the way Chuck Berry plays it. You understand? Lol. Joking. Lol. YouTube and John Watson. Jed, he promoted space travel. He never promoted space travel. He sang about space. He didn't even, well, I suppose he did sing about space travel, but it's not that he was promoting it. He wasn't saying jump on a fucking, if anything, if you listen to Ground Control to Major Tom, it's not a nice story. I wouldn't say how that's promoting space travel. To me, that's a sad story, that song about a guy that goes into space and practically disappears into oblivion. That's what it sounds like, the song to me, that Ground Control to Major Tom, check ignitions, engines on, or whatever it is. If you listen to the whole song and the lyrics, it doesn't promote fucking space travel. If anything, it makes you not want to travel in space because it's a sad, lonely, it makes you feel lonely. I wouldn't say that was promotion, but there was a lot of drugs out there, and when people take drugs, a lot of drugs, their mind goes otherworldly. I think a lot of David Bowie's lyrics, David Bowie actually used to cut magazines apart. He used to cut magazines apart and different words out of magazines and newspapers, and used to jumble them up on a table and put them together to make songs. That's pretty crazy. Who's still here? 46 watching. Stoned Roses, did you hear the drums earlier? Rangers fans are orange. Celtic fans are aye. My ex smokes that much she has a soot fall instead of a period. Oh, Jesus. Bleach killed poo-poo. Russian vids is a sellout. Says Amanda. They are all shows you. I wonder why John's here. Oh, Space-Time Continuum. Jed, I watched all the Black Mirrors. They are awesome. What I can't recommend these Black Mirror shows highly enough. They're amazing. They're amazing. And one of them that stuck in my mind for a few days, actually, was one of the episodes. I don't know why, this is a spoiler alert, guys, but I need to tell you this because it's pretty messed up. But the show begins with a guy, he gets woken up by his phone. He wakes up and he's on the phone. And he puts his phone down and he turns around to his wife and says, I need to go down to the office. Then you realise it's the Prime Minister of Britain. So he rushes down to his office and he's like, what is it? What's going on, guys? And they're saying, his aides are there. And they turn around and say to him, the Princess of England has been kidnapped. The people that have captured her are going to make demands. And they told him to have sex on live TV at 4 o'clock that day, or the princess was getting killed. And it was the psychology going through it with the guy. Oh, you were thinking, no way he's going to do it. No way he's going to do it. But the Prime Minister, he tries to get people to come in with green screen hoods on, and the terrorists topple what's going on. So apparently the terrorist cuts the pinky of the princess off, so they know it's serious, and it's on YouTube. But an interesting thing they mentioned, once the demand came in, they went, well, has it been on the news yet? And they said, no. He says, but it's been on YouTube. And the Prime Minister turned around and says, shut down all social media. And I thought, oh my God, is that all it takes? Is like, what if they fake something like that? What if the government fake a kidnapping of a member of the royal family? And then that gives them the excuse. And just say they make up some terrorists that done it. When really they're sitting in some green screen. That might give the governments the right to shut all social media down. I think they're playing with the idea. I definitely think they're playing with the idea. But the Black Mirror guys, Netflix, Black Mirror, check them out. Amazing. Amazing shows. Free Chan has got music on, rather listen to Jed. Oh, cheers, you. Jed, I watched all the Black Mirrors. Oh, I'm scrolling up now. Villa played shite by all accounts. Come on, the Birmingham. Right, who's watching? Because if anybody wants to come on, I'll really consider it. When you and Dale are going to sit down together and have a good discussion, Jed, neither of you monetize your channels. You discuss FE Globe and your fellow Scotsman. Come on now. Well, I tried to talk to Dale, and he's stubborn. He's stubborn. He's one of these people that he's just one of these people that they put up the barriers. They put up the barriers because they don't want to let out too much because they know it will get picked apart. So they stand behind their wall and they stand firm with like certain beliefs, and they're just stubborn. Jed, I can't believe that episode got written. Charlie Brooker is a dark genius, though. Space-time continuum. That was I was saying this to my wife. I was sitting there. I was going, think about it, right? They're sitting around a table and they need to think an idea for a film. And one of the guys turns around and goes, right, the princess of Britain gets kidnapped. And then they demand the Prime Minister have sex with a pig live on TV. And you'd think that the people sitting around the table were like, what the f? But somebody obviously went, that's a great idea. We'll make a movie of that. And God, they made a movie and it was amazing. It's amazing. You're stubborn too, Jed. Well, need a 200 quid mic. We ain't all got radio contracts. I like both of yous. P. Mars and Amanda, says Angel Raven. Robert Forrest, he's too friendly with the Patty gang. Dell's too friendly with the Patty gang. I'm on my own here. Even Glenn's proved that. Is this someone saying something about fucking Jesuits? It's coming down off heroin. What do you think of the new showroom? Lol. Jed, I watched all the Black Mirror. I'm going too far, right? I think I'm going to wrap it up now, guys. It's getting a bit slow. But like I said, I'm definitely into doing a moon experiment. I wouldn't mind, because I'll do it. I'll take photos of it on clear nights. I'll try and get as much footage of the moon through the month. And if everyone else does it all around the world, we can compare our photographs. Maybe get an idea, like, because if it's flat, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's have a look at what FreeChan are doing it. FreeChan. Poncho Pete Chan strong. Is this what people are talking about? Poncho Pete Chan strong. Pete Chan. Lame Chan. Flat Earth Poncho Pete Chan, the Magic Fun Show, tricks made by NASA. Let's have a look at this shite.
Because her being who she is, it really surprised me that she's not.
Yeah, she was jumping on some offlines with us for a little bit there, but just vanished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. I mean,
Oh, look, Lee's in the chat.
She's like out in the woods dancing with wolves and having a good time.
I hope so. You know, I hope it's something innocent like that. You know.
She was in the chat with Tears.
Have you noticed that? Have you noticed there's been this movement in the potato crew over to FreeChan? It's so obvious.
That one's in North Dakota?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, was it the pipeline one? I think it was the pipeline.
Yeah, people from Hawaii were there.
That Chris Truseeker, man, he's an alright guy and all that, but I didn't trust him.
Yeah, retarded. Don't go to that. I don't. I'm talking about.
Hey, Lisa, I got news for you.
What's that?
My wife works with special needs people, so.
All right.
And her son. And her son is special needs, and they don't like to sing retarded all that.
Well, I don't like hearing Issa talk, but he still does. I mean,
Who wrote the Jedi? You know, I mean, here's the thing, like Dave, I'm not like when I say that. Like, here's the problem with definition.
Oh, there's not much fucking you can take of that, guys, eh? I wanted to show you his pictures, but I've still got the beach bus spinning around, so fuck this. I'm going to shut it down soon. I've got nothing more to talk about. Shit, no that. Boo Jed, haha. See, look. Can you see me? Whee! Look at everybody there. And Glenn's got a problem with me with a spanner. Watch when I type in FreeChan. Yeah. What's this? Hey, the only person without a spanner. Who can you trust? Who can you trust? Look. The only person without a spanner. And that's the way I want it to stay. Because I don't trust these fucking channels. No way. These 24-hour channels, they can get to fuck. Nitro Michael, ignore Jed at all costs. Jed. Anna Liebert, Jed, love to hate you, man. Yo, Jed. You'll see all my recommendations, guys. I like my UFC. There's nothing really happening. There's nothing really happening. That was a video Conspiracy Mystic made, which was good. She made some good points. It's true. Until Glenn starts doing his own hangouts, he doesn't really understand. So he's not really got an opinion on all this. So start doing your own hangouts, Glenn, and maybe you can understand a wee bit better. What's this? Graham Hancock, Ancient Extinction, Atlantis. Yeah. See this Steve McRae guy? Shit. This Steve McRae guy. I've noticed he's into all this shit. Look, featured channels, Red's Rhetoric. Earth Discussions, related channel. So he's Earth Discussions as well. Will the real Ed please stand up?
So there's a laser beam being emitted in both directions,
Right.
and obviously it's rotating around one way.
The fuck are they talking about?
If it has its detector moves, obviously it would take more time one way around. The light would have travelled further one way than the other way.
This will increase and decrease if there's any rotation.
Yeah. So, and I'm not quite sure. It doesn't quite explain how this rotation comes about, and that's because they talk about this being a rate thing, right?
I recognise Termin.
Orientation thing.
It comes about because if the ring laser is strapped down and you move the environment it's in, then you'll get your rotation force.
Right. So the rotation is just simply it's not rotating itself. It's just detecting the rotation.
A strapped down system. It's tethered.
Yes. Right. So
if aircraft yours, for example, you're going to get
a
rolling motion.
This fucking code came up.
So it's only rotating when the aircraft rotates.
Yeah, that's right. That's
okay,
what you need.
Right. Okay, right, that's fine. Okay, so it is right. So okay, it talks about the angle. Right. Okay, so it is in fact an orientation thing. It's they call it a rate thing, and I thought therefore hold on, that doesn't mean to say the thing has to be rotating. But okay,
they're on this, and they go through it all. They explain how it uses the Sagnac effect.
Right, brilliant. Okay.
It talks about introducing a vibration, which is interesting. There's something else in this article was talking about that.
Yes, and that's
these fucking shell channels, man. See the other show channel. Actually, it's funny because this debates channel is Andrew Chenchi channel. You can't, or Senchi, whatever you want to call him. It's fucking hard to find if you're not searching for him. I wonder if it's still, ah, there it is there. You can see they've deleted all their videos. Mr. Bobag. Related channels, Poncho Pete. Who the fuck's Professor X? Amando Geddon. See, I didn't get these 24-hour fuckers. Like, honestly, didn't I? I think these fuckers are up to something. Right, I'm going to make another coffee, but I'm thinking about wrapping this up unless anyone wants to join and have a chat. So I'll go and make a coffee. Well, this will probably be ending in 5-10 minutes, guys.
That go with the check.
Oh, I'm trying to look at your
Well,
thing.
they
Yeah.
say, yeah.
It's an account receivable. It's an account receivable for them. They use it to balance the books.
nick of these cunts, man. Look at this cunt. Jesus fuck.
A number that you put on your check. But what you've done is you send them double payment almost. Now, I'm not advising anyone to do anything with this information other than study. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. What I'm trying to say is that through contractual agreements, like as a U.S. citizen, you cannot do it.
This guy here, man, didn't trust him. This dude here. Isa's alright, but he's still too friendly with all the potatoes and things like that. Poncho, didn't trust him. Didn't trust him. These guys are quite new. Tone and Turquoise. Don't trust this guy. I'm not sure who this is. But this is Pete now. He thinks this is great, adding all these stupid fucking heats and all that. Poncho Pete. Poncho Pete. Fucking funny. International Sock Puppet Appreciation Day. Ponchos never really went for me, to be honest with you. I didn't mind Isa, I quite like Isa's stuff.
guys, I'm back again. I was just thinking there, Nathan Oakley's channel especially, have you not noticed they started repeating, Nathan Oakley started repeating his videos, putting up the same videos and these sort of weird, useless videos. I think even Oakley's running out of material, he really is. Although Antonio was a pain in the arse, I think he kind of balanced the show for Nathan Oakley, because they played the whole good cop bad cop thing, and it was kind of working for a while. But I think Antonio just took it too far. But Nathan and Antonio, they had a good thing going. They don't really know it right now. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. And believe it or not, I quite liked Nathan Oakley to begin with. Like I said, I thought he was a nice, clean-cut character. He was well-spoken. If anyone was going to address NASA in an interview or anything like that, I thought Nathan Oakley had the voice. He presents himself well. He does, but he just got mixed up with this crap. And he still believes. I still see him. He still fights flat Earth till he's blue in the face. Jed, did you have your kid do a Minecraft video? Me and my son, we done an animation together. It was his first. I bought him an animation pack. It was a Minecraft animation, and we both done an animation. It was his first Minecraft animation. It wasn't my first animation, but it was his first one. Nathan is creepy. I think that just depends on your perception. Muscle car, rock lover. A lot of people find that Nathan is creepy, but what do you really know about Nathan Oakley? Not very much. Just like they know nothing about me. Antonio was quite. It was funny. Antonio came out with something in a hangout past couple of weeks. He says, "These people that slander me, Martin. I know Martin's not getting any money, so I'll not sue him. But Jed, I know you've got money." And I thought, Antonio, I've got money. It's like, how do these people perceive me? It's just hilarious. So I know that Antonio's perceiving me wrong because, guys, I live in a council estate. I'm just a normal guy. I've done better for myself than most people in my area. But I'm still a schemie. So Antonio's got the total wrong idea of me. He thinks I'm rich or something. I'm anything but. I've got another kid on the way. I'm not rich. So I thought Nathan Oakley was all right. He still is a wee bit weird. He has got that sort of weirdness to him. But I think he likes that. I think he likes people to think he's creepy, because it's like a defense mechanism for Oakley. He likes people to perceive that he's creepy. Just like when certain people call me a Mason and things like that, I wind them up and say, I am a Freemason. I say that I am a Freemason because if they want to believe that and be scared of that, well, that's to my advantage. Calling me a Freemason. I've been called a Jew also. I've been called a Freemason. I've been called a Jew. What else have I been called? I've been called quite a lot of things. I've been called a military child, if you're rich fucking family or something like that. What else have I been called? I've been called loads of shit. And that PK Truth, he went rage because somebody accused him of being a Jew. You should have seen the state he got into. He started dragging David Weiss into it. You're a Jew, aren't you, David? And David didn't know why he was saying anything. And why did he react like that? I didn't like that PK. I've got to admit, I didn't like him. And it might be shallow, guys, but I didn't like his whole persona, the way he presents himself, the way... I know Martin's annoying, and I know you can lose patience with Martin, but I suppose Martin can test what kind of character you've got, really. Martin's a good test of your nature. If you've got patience like a saint, you might be able to put up with Martin for about 10 minutes before you start frowning. But you could see with PK Truth, he wasn't interested in Martin. He wasn't interested in what Martin had to say. I thought he was quite ignorant, actually, to be honest with you, that PK. I don't like him. Don't like the guy. YouTube, Jed, SAS soldier on a mission of, I've been called SAS as well. Who was it that called me SAS? Cathexis. Was it Cathexis? I don't know. Someone called me fucking SAS as well, which is quite funny. Someone said in my comments, someone mentioned in my comment, what was it? What battalion are you in? I've been called many things in this flat earth. Martin, one of the few people I would trust on YouTube, says John Watson. YouTube, when Jed said, Martin, you trust everyone. PK can be funny, I just don't take it as truth, says Rob S. Spectacles, I don't know how Amanda. Muscle car, smiley face, Dave Little, Jed's M16 Hibs supporter. I am a Hibs supporter, you're right. You're right there, I'm a Hibs supporter. God, recently, the local football team, there's 2 local football teams in Edinburgh. There's Heart of Midlothian and Hibernian. I'm a Hibernian supporter, which kind of goes against all my mates are Jambos. All my mates are Jambos, so they won the Scottish Cup. I think it was 98 and 2003 or something. So they won or 2000, was it 2003? But they won the Scottish Cup a couple of times, and they were rubbing it right in the Hibs supporters' faces. And the Hibs hadn't won the Scottish Cup for 110 years. And the Scottish Cup in Scottish football is the oldest trophy in the world. The oldest competitive trophy in the world. The Scottish Cup. And Hibs hadn't won it for 110 years. But they won it. They won it last year. And it feels like itself doesn't feel like it actually happened. Come on the high bees. I'm pretty sure you're reptilian, Jed. SAS, sunbeds and steroids. Jed's an ICT hooligan. United and City fans here don't have a rivalry. They'll cry for such a small persecuting, always soaped and lamp-shaded. There are 4x2s in the top brass and foot soldiers. Just saying, they'll cry. YouTube, it's United and Liverpool. Robert Forrest. Commons scored last night. Sunshine and Leaf, great song. That is a good song, man. And Commons is a good player. He's a good player, but I thought he was a wee bit past it. Martin could talk about a nut and a bolt and get 80 viewers. The earth was flat 110 years ago too, says Dave Little. Cheech, your team. It's funny because Dave Little, you say the earth was flat 110 years ago. Why did the Greeks have a god called Atlas? The Greeks had a god called Atlas and he carried a globe on his back. So I think even the Greeks believed in the sphere, guys. Turquoise Dragon is now in. I wonder if he's in both chats, if he's in Poncho Pete's Chan. Poncho Pete Chan, come on guys. What the hell's going on? Pure Shell Chan. Free Chan, Commie Chan, that's what I was calling it, Commie Chan. I think Martin's a wee bit of communist. But at the same time, it's funny, you find a lot of truth seekers, so they call themselves, being anti-corporate and anti-government and anti-government and quite, they support anarchy and stuff like that. But you know what? These people that support all these ideologies, they're usually on the fucking dole. They're usually supported by the government, prompted up by the government. So it's strange. It's strange how these people shout against the government, but at the same time, the government supports everything. We, the taxpayers, pay for them to sit around and do nothing. But these are the people that want to bring the system down. Well, the people that do work are just getting on with working. The people that are sitting in the door are shouting about how the system is against them and all this shit, but they're getting supported by the government. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. People should have a look at themselves in the mirror. Hey Dale, been a while. Should have a jam sometime. I support my legs. They support me, says Cheech. Yup, Ravens lost it, says Rob S. Dave Little, an Atlas book. YouTube, why has there been a drama? It's heliocentric philosophy, Jed. Atlas. Spectacles, yeah, I'm over at JW. Right, guys, so if you've joined a wee bit late, this has got to sound repetitive to people who were here. But I was thinking of doing a moon track because in the northern hemisphere, the moon's shadow works the opposite on the southern hemisphere. And guys, I think if we believe in truth, we can't avoid these things. When my friend told me, when I told him I could see a crescent moon, and he says it looked like bullhorns in the Emirates, well, to me that's a big drop in curvature or something's going on there. If it was a flat plane, this wouldn't be possible. It'd be impossible for this to happen on a flat plane. And it's all this shit. We stick a smiley face on your ceiling and walk around. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, guys. Because for starters, the circle, if you stood around the room, unless you were straight underneath it, the circle would be elliptical. So that's not the case here. The moon's always a circle. If you just stuck a smiley face to the ceiling and looked, if you went in the corner of the room, that circle wouldn't be a circle, it'd be elliptical. So this excuse about sticking a fucking smiley face on the ceiling and walking back and forward and stuff like that, that's bullshit, guys. It's total bullshit. I think we should I think John LeBon, if he can, I know he's busy with his Dino Skeptic documentary and stuff like that, but I would really, really appreciate a couple of photos from John, his moon, because I think my photos will be like this and John's will be like that. And to me, that proves a sphere, guys. To me, it does. Everything's flipped. And this, like I said, this analogy that Globebusters and that tried to use, stick a smiley face on the ceiling and walk around the room, or stick a circle in the ceiling and walk about the room. No, I'm not buying that. Like I said, it would look elliptical. So guys, like I said, I'm suggesting it in this hangout. I'll leave it open in the comments, obviously, for people if they want to take part. I don't know if we should do it live, like they done with the sun tracking shit. I'm just a one-man fucking, so I wouldn't mind if when I could do a 2-hour hangout, shut it down, and somebody else could maybe do one, like Laurie or someone, even JLB, just to look at the moon for a couple of hours. Because I think the moon tracking could be a lot more, we could get a lot more data from the moon tracking than the sun. The moon's a lot closer. The moon has certain details on it that we can see, we can observe, we can see the face on the moon, we can see when it tilts and we can see when it changes. So I think the moon's a lot better to track than the sun. This is probably why the flat earth hasn't mentioned it. Why haven't the flat earth, out of all those brains squashed together, like Nathan Oakley, Bob, journalism, why haven't they wanted to track the moon? I know why. Because it'd fucking debunk them. They don't want to track the moon because it'd be debunked. I don't mind, guys. Like, if this supports the flat earth, if we do this and it supports the flat earth, I'll take that. I'll take it. But if you're looking for truth, it doesn't matter if you support the globe or the flat earth. You need to do these things for yourself. You need to be truthful to yourself, guys. And like I said, I was avoiding stuff like this. I was just like, I would accept just the smiley face stuck on the ceiling. Oh, that's good enough for me. But it's not, guys. It's not. I think we should unite from all different countries, different hemispheres, and do a moon tracking. I really do, guys. I think this could be a big factor. Everyone was up for the sun tracking. Everyone was up for it. A moon tracking should be the next stage, guys. Definitely. And if the big top flat earthers avoid moon tracking, they're fucking... Why is the sun tracking important and the moon tracking isn't? They say that the sky is not important, blah, blah, but they've done a sun track. So these people believe that the sky is important. Well, if the sky is important, do a moon track. I'll have a fag. A cigarette. Do you get what you call this, guys? This is called having an original thought. I wonder if Dale will come back to this and fucking say, oh, guys, the moon. I bet you in Dale's next video, Beyond the Imaginary Curve, I can guarantee you guys that Dale's going to be fucking talking about what's been on this. There's no point tracking the moon. There's nothing to see up there. There's nothing to see. Right, have a look at chat again. You can see there's Delcroix joined us. Hello, Delcroix. John Watson still lingering. It's too cold to go out. Guys, you don't have to leave your house. You can take a photo from your window. You can take a photo, a quick snap. Look at if you look out your window, guys, and you see the moon, open your window, take a photo, shut your window. Write down what time it is, where you are. There you go. That's all we really need. Or really, all we need is what time, date, and where you are. That's all we really need. And we can just examine the pictures. The moon has lots of answers, says Amanda. Delcroix says Operation Moonbeam. Well, people are quite happy to go out and try and measure the fucking moon's light. This kind of crap. But they won't do the the observations. They're relying on this machine, this $5.99 machine they probably bought on whatever. They're relying on this machine. If we can all look at the sky and use our own eyes and put it all together and compare. Cosmic Surfer, we have been tracking the moon for more than a year, Jed. Cool, nice one. I hope it's different hemispheres. Rock Lover, moon work fine in concave, by the way, because concave is spherical. John Watson, FE is just about FE. Hate when I get mooned, Rob S. David Blackson, the only way to prove is to follow the moon or the sun around the world in an airplane. Yes, unite, Turquoise Dragon. Yeah, the crescent yellowish colour, and I could see the whole of the moon, a spooky grey. John Watson, NASA fraud. Laurie Gale, unite. Go see the Flat Earth Smarts Jed, episode 7. Will be for you. By the way, guys, I've been looking at flat Earth stuff for fucking ever, so I've looked at probably every video that someone tries to put a link down for. I've probably watched it. I've watched everything, guys. I've watched everything. I don't know if you don't know this yet, but I'm a self-admitted flat Earth junkie, even though I'm not a flat earther. I'm addicted to all the shit. It's like a bad drug. You know it's bad. It's like smoking. Flat Earth is like smoking. You know it's bad for you, but you keep going for one. Schlominger, awesome idea, Jed. Moon tracking. Company will be alone time on Wednesday, Laurie Gill. Since Camillo, Scotland has many werewolves. Killuminati, stay on the path. FE gets stripped of decency by a handful of channels and about 30 to 50 shells, says Ute. Angel Raven, hounds of the Baskervilles. Muscular rock liver, the moonlight gives no power in a solar panel. That's interesting. That's interesting. Rock liver. Never thought about that. That the moon light gives no power in a solar panel. That's interesting. Never thought about that. It's 6 minutes long, Jed. Addicted to us cool people, says Laurie Gill. Cosmic Surfer recently started sync shots with Stan Smith from the Isle of Wight. Cool. And that's cool. Cosmic Surfer. Well, I wouldn't mind like people taking shots of the moon from like Britain, from South America, from South Africa. But that's the thing. The southern hemisphere is so little populated. It's hard to get these pictures. John LeBon's probably our main guy for the moon shots. We don't even need lots of people to do it. We just need maybe one person from each continent, maybe, or latitude. The Water Boys, The Whole of the Moon, says Del Croy. That was a good song. I like that. You saw the whole of the moon. Dave Little, you saw Brigadoon, I saw the whole of the moon. Cosmic Surfer recently started sync shots. I've read that. Right, okay. Turquoise Dragon, I'll have a chat with you on this, Jed. I had no idea. I had an idea on this. You can get involved. Well, I'm still not sure. It depends who it is. I'm not too keen about having free channers on here, to be honest with you. Free channers, people, the free channer, the free channer locals, should we say, or the what would you call them? The regulars, the free chan regulars. I've not really got time for free chans, to be honest with you. I suppose we've got the hot potatoes, and now we've got this sort of free chan cult starting. And no offense, Turquoise or Tone or anybody like that, you are quite new to me. But I've listened to some of your stuff, and I've been down that road. I mind sitting there with my square and compass trying to draw the circle of life. And what you do realise when you're doing the circle of life, when you're doing the compass stuff, Turquoise, that you can turn 2D into 3D by when you create the Metatron's cube. You join the lines up. So it's like finding 3D and 2D. But that's about it. The whole is too new agey. It's too new agey, guys. I've been down the whole new age stuff. I've been down Tazarian. I've been down all this stuff. I'm just sick of it now. I've got to 2017, guys. And like him, I was listening to Star Gods earlier, and he was talking about losing my conspiracies. And he was right, guys. He's right. We should start just getting all this garbage out our heads. All this shit. There's still lots of important things like 9/11. We should never forget 9/11. But there's certain conspiracies that shouldn't even need our time. Like, did David Bowie die? Well, Kim, what? So what? Even if he did fake his death, so what? So what? Same with John F. Kennedy. People don't care now. So what? Even if he was alive, people would be like, so what? Most people probably don't know who he is. I think we've got to start clearing out our heads of this shit, guys. We do. All this reptilian shit, all this Illuminati stuff. Like Star Gods was saying, the Illuminati, the powers that be want us to think there's an Illuminati. We create our own enemies. We create our own enemies through fear. Because that's what fear really is, guys. Fear's just the unknown. When you get scared of something, it's because you don't know. That's what fear is. It's just the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. Like if you're sitting for an interview, you get really nervous because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to... That's the fear. The fear is the unknown. That's what everyone's scared of. So they start making assumptions. They start creating. They start creating their own enemies through fear. And it catches on like a disease. Just a shame. It's a shame that the alternative media now is turned into a fucking more a joke than the mainstream. There was a sort of point where alternative media was doing better than the mainstream media. I think mainstream media and alternative media have now leveled themselves out. They've both been full of fucking bullshit. You can't trust either now. You can only go with your gut. Even all these attacks in Germany and all this stuff, I've paid no attention to it. All these attacks in Germany, this Russian guy getting shot, I seen it in the paper on the bus and I just chucked it down. I didn't even pay any attention to it. And my life's my life's no changed for it. It doesn't matter if I looked at it or not. Who cares? We have Magum Ba CFC Nini 19. Amanda, yup, focus on observable, repeatable experimentation. To quote Dell, he's right. Screw fear. Moonlight seems to decelerate or suck energy off. And yep, David Blackson, what is causing the shadow? The moonlight definitely. There's definitely moonlight. I don't think it's colder than the shade and stuff like that. But guys, I can't rule it out. I've not seen anything to convince me. I'm not seeing anything that doesn't convince me. But I do think it controls the tides. There's no doubt it controls the tides, the moon. And I think the moon also pulls moisture into the atmosphere. The moon. I think when the moon's on a certain side of the planet, I think all the moisture in the atmosphere gets dragged towards it. I think the moon pulls water, not just the tides. I think it pulls all the moisture in the atmosphere as well. Because I noticed days where when the moon is out during the day, persistent contrails, or chemtrails as people call them, they last a lot longer in the air when the moon's out. When the moon's not out, the trails just fade away. So I think the moon could be something to do with the moisture in the air and these persistent contrails lasting a lot longer. And there's no doubt, guys, I've watched these trails turn into big clouds. But I don't think it's like poison and barium and strontium and they're spraying us and there's spider webs all over us and shite like that. It's just rubbish, just total rubbish. There's no doubt that these trails create clouds, but I don't think it's anything to do with weather control either. If anything, I think it's more to do with radio waves. If you look into radio waves, they seem to travel better through moist atmosphere and quicker. If you've got a really dry and arid landscape, radio waves, they struggle, but they travel far in moist atmosphere. So I think that's why northern hemisphere has got so many trails around, because all the moisture gets dragged, it gets pulled to the north. Obviously, I think that's to do with the magnetosphere as well. The solar energy becoming into the poles. I think it drags everything in. It pulls everything in. So I think these persistent contrails are connected with the moon. It's crazy, guys, I know, but I noticed I've got a Facebook group called Hazy Days, and I've got over 3,000 images over a few years. Persistent contrails. I've got sundogs. I've got at least 50 different types of sundog. I've got all these different images, but I noticed a pattern. The moon was in the sky with most of them. Crazy, and even the ones at night time. Oh, Validation Boys started to hang out. Hey, I'll just let you know, guys, because I just got a wee alert. Validation Boys didn't hang out. God, I've still got the beach ball spinning round. Aye, but I do think these persistent contrails are connected to the pull of the moon as well, because the moon pulls on the tides. It pulls on everything, and I think it pulls all the moisture. There's more moisture in the atmosphere, so when these trails do get laid by the planes, they persist. They persist. I'll show you some videos actually that I've done. The old persistent contrails. It gives me an excuse to fucking show you something, eh? Hey, I've lost about 4 subs during this hangout. Cool. Nice one. Like Star God says, empty out the trash. Because really, guys, I want people that are being serious with themselves. This was my video about satellites, persistent contrails, and RF theory, and satellites don't exist. This was one of my, and this was in July the 4th, 2015. I was talking about satellites not existing. And we've done quite a few. Oh, this was quite a good one, actually. This was strange oily colours in the clouds. I'm not sure if that's a copyright or not. This was some footage I'd taken of the sky, and you can see here, guys, the colours. These colours, these oily kind of colours, and it doesn't. To me, it doesn't. It's not the same as a rainbow. The way the light spectrum's been scattered isn't the same as a rainbow. It's more like when you see oil in water. You see oil in water. You see that sort of iridescent sort of colour. It's not the same as a sort of rainbow with the light spectrum scattered, and you can see it's different. It's different. I thought this was strange. You get some strange weather in Scotland. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at these colours. Crazy. Look at that. Look at that. And there's been no tinkering with these images. This is what I caught with I could see this with my eye. This is no lens effects or anything like that. I could see this with my eye, those colours. So I done, look at that. Look at the sun, it's like a wee spotlight. Once you get rid of all the glare of the sun, it's like a wee spotlight. Look at that. So it's like an oil. It's like oil and water. And to me, it's just like fuel. It's just like the residue from these trails. Look at that. There's the sun there. Some crazy ass colours in that one. I've got a good. Oh, you should see this one, man. This was doing at my work at Leith Docks. There's a place called Leith Docks. And if any of you have played Grand Theft Auto, you'll know that the makers of Grand Theft Auto are called Rockstar. And one of their companies are based in Edinburgh. It was actually an Edinburgh company that formed Rockstar in the Grand Theft Auto franchise. But the Americans kind of took over and stuff like that. But anyway, this was done at a place called Leith Docks. And if you remember on one of the Grand Theft Autos, there was a Leith Docks, but it's spelled like a leaf from a tree branch. So this is done at Leith. But you can see here, guys, this is what Scotland gets. You see, back in these days, I was still quite shitty the way I'd shoot stuff. But look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at the trails. If this was fucking barium and strontium, guys, if this was chemicals spraying down on us, I'd be dead now. I think most wildlife, I think the birds would die first. I think the smaller things would die. But no, everything's thriving. Everything is thriving. If anything, these clouds created by the persistent contrails, they're trapping heat in. After these trails have been laid and the clouds form out them, it traps heat between the cloud and the ground. So the infrared, the heat that's coming off the ground, it can't escape. It's getting trapped inside these clouds. So you'll find that the climate is a lot warmer. Like Scotland, I think December the 12th or 13th, something like that. It was actually warm. There's a warm wind. It was strange. So you can see here, it's just a nightmare. But I never thought I was being sprayed to death. Imagine if I thought I was being sprayed to death looking up at the sky. I wouldn't want to leave my house. If I thought I was being sprayed to death and seen these skies, I wouldn't want to leave the house. And this is where I think the chemtrail psyop comes in. It's pure fear-mongering. They want you they want you to walk around with gas masks on. So I've been taking. Oh, this was a crazy one, guys. This was a crazy one. I'll do it. I'll speed it up though. This has got music too. I think this is copyright free anyway. I'll speed it up. Probably need to mute it because I'll be. So you can see here, guys, it starts off with like. These are persistent contrails, right? It's quite a long video. But you can see here, guys, this cloud. This cloud forms out of nowhere, out of these ripples. It was crazy, guys. I stayed and looked at this. As you can see here, guys, it starts off, and it's just the haze. All the haze that comes off this. It turns the sky milky white, and the haze. And then you can start seeing the radio waves rippling through the haze. It's crazy, guys. Watch this. Watch up this area here. This area here. Keep watching. Keep watching it. Keep watching. Keep watching this area, guys. Keep watching it. It's on the +2 speed, so the music's a bit all over the place. So I was sitting staring at this cloud forming, guys, and I started getting this weird ripple through it. Keep watching this, guys. Keep watching this. Remember how it started? Started off as that. There, go back. You can see here. You can see it forming as I'm skipping back. You see it starts forming. You can see these ripples. It's like almost like a waffle effect. I think this is radio waves, guys, passing through the trails. And I'm going to mute that. That's just driving me nuts now. You can see a trail's being laid. This one. But this cloud, look at it now. Look at this cloud that's forming, and you can see this isn't the way natural clouds form. Well, I don't think this looks natural at all, guys, to be honest with you. And I think Bob was trying to steal this idea, because I know he's been looking through my stuff, and he mentioned this once, and I pulled him up for it, and he's never really mentioned it again. But this cloud here is forming. You can see here, guys. Crazy. It starts forming into a 7. This cloud. It starts looking like a number 7. It's crazy. It looks like a big question mark there now. But I think it's to do with radio waves. I think they like these. I think they like the hazy sky for the radio waves. See the birds flying around, quite happy. See the 7? You can see there's a wee bit of that ripple effect here as well. Starting. Look at that, guys. That's no natural to me. That's no natural. But I don't think they're spraying barium and stuff. I think they're creating persistent contrails in the moisture, and I think they're using it to their benefit. I think they're using it for radio waves. All these phone masts that you see around, they're everywhere now. And look at this pattern. You see it's got this sort of footprint pattern almost. It's almost like a footprint in the snow. But soon it gets worse than that, guys. It gets worse than this, believe me. So I'd already sped it up 2 times, and now I've sped it up 2 times on YouTube. So this is you're seeing this pretty quick, guys. I've not even seen it this fast forming, to be honest with you. It's incredible when I actually look back on it. But look at that. Look at that now. Remember how this began? This began as a little one of these. Now look at it. 2014 I filmed this. So it's 3 years ago. But you see this giant cloud just forming from nothing, from radio waves. It looked like that to me, to be honest with you. It looked like the trails were laid, the haze was created, the radio waves passed through them, and I think the radio waves somehow excite they must excite something in the trails to create the clouds. They must make a nuclei or something like that, because to create clouds you need some kind of nuclei or particles in the air. It's crazy stuff. So you can see there, it's right in the distance in the horizon on the hill. So this big giant cloud, the birds are going crazy. You see it's that was a crazy trail actually. Check this trail out, right? Look at that. It's actually casting a shadow on the cloud. The trail is like it looks like it's casting a shadow. And you can see the rippling effects at the bottom here as well, right into the distance. So this could be TV, mobile phone, all different communications. There's a radio tower that sits on the hill. Like a radio mast. This was that was the name of my group at first, Geoengineering Uncovered. But I realised it wasn't geoengineering. I realised it was a problem, but it wasn't geoengineering. And so all this mess here that you see now was created by persistent contrails and a wee bit radio wave. You can see there. It's almost like a square. Someone speaking German in there. Amanda, if there is a they, all they would want is control, not kill off their slaves. They're up to something for sure, but they're not killing us off. Not while they need their factory workers and revenue, says Amanda. Rob S, see them regularly. Stan Smith, lol, yeah, circus clouds. Plus billions for geoengineering projects done by Emirates, Saudi, Air Cargo, Swissair, British Airways. BC is the only prov in Canada that's carbon tax, but this year they're well, I think this whole rise in the climate, I think it's just a rise in air travel, a rise in haze created by these trails. And with all this radio waves kicking around, it's just making clouds. Angel Raven, driverless cars and robots will replace us. Rob S, suck us dry by killing us slowly. Schlominger, the thing is, nobody's talking about it in the media and it's completely silenced and disinfo attacked all the time. Ken Wheeler is really awesome, Rock. I love his book. Nice apartment in Leaf Docks now. Stayed there last year. Nice views, says Dave Little. Aye, nice views. Bad smell, though. Bad smell. I tell you that, for the Seafield. Cirrus clouds. You're right, Cheech. Cirrus clouds. Persistent contrails create cirrus clouds. Jed engineering. God. You guys are funny. Right. We'll have a wee look at another. What was I looking at before? What was I going to look at before I started jumping into all these ones? Oh, this was when I done. This was undercover Roslin Chapel style. If none of you know about Roslin Chapel, I visited this place a couple of years ago after it just got refurbished. Really, really cool place. So many carvings. That don't even look Christian. Some of these ones look late. A lot of the older carvings look more pagan. And this was a crypt. No one had been down here. This was after it got renovated. This was the crypt. Look at that. If I wind it back, I think you'll see it's the Knights Templar. That's what it says on it. It says down here Knights Templar, but it was a really shitty camera I had at the time. It was the old iPhone. I had it stashed in my. But I said Knights Templar. There's a really creepy block in this crypt as well. It had some really creepy sort of encryptions on it. I wasn't allowed to do this. This was me being sneaky. This was creepy. This block. It looked like a sacrificial slab, this thing. Some creepy inscriptions on it. Had like a wee kid on this end. It looked like a wee child. A wee child here. And this was creepy. It was like a skull. It was like a skeleton with some kind of weapon in his hand. This looked like a little kid standing on a ball. Look. It's like a little kid standing on a ball in a ring. That's Death, obviously. He's got the big sickle. The skeleton's got the sickle. Really creepy block. There it is again. skeleton with a big sickle, a wee kid. They look like little kids sitting on these things. They didn't look like men. So it looked like death, kids, block. Pretty creepy to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if some poor people have been sacrificed on this slab. I really, honestly, that's the first thing I started thinking about. This was my mate examining it. Oh, it's a creepy place, man. Creepy place. Definitely got to go back. I'll try and get some better footage. There it is again. Look at that. What's this? What's this? It's like a... Oh, it's weird, guys. It's weird. And this skeleton had like a thing on his head. Look at that. There's all different inscriptions on this that you can't see here. It's strange. That's the apprentice pillar. This is a famous pillar in Roslin Chapel, and it's called the apprentice pillar because apparently one of the stonemason masters, he was in the middle of creating this, carving it, and I think he got ill or there was something that he had to stop doing it, and I think the apprentice took over and completed it, and I think the master mason killed him or something like that because it went against him or something. There's a story behind this pillar, anyway. Man, it's so bad. I wish I had the video skills I've got now. You see all these saints. That glass is obviously new. That's been put in new. I think that was the Sinclair, Countess of Roslin. Look at that creepy. That's one of the angels there. Look at that. The hair's like horns. The cross on the head. Another angel. Same again. The horns, cross on the head. I see these things. Each one of these cubes had like a cymatic pattern on it. Each one of these cubes had a pattern on it, a different kind of pattern on it, apparently. Each cube had its own sort of pattern. And it was meant to be cymatic patterns. Music of the cube, cymatics. And there's this guy called Stuart Mitchell, and they put together all these, like each pattern represents a tone. I don't know if any of you have seen cymatics, but there's a good video on YouTube, and it's got an opera singer singing down a tube like, oh, and the sand would change shape. And with a different tone, like, oh, it would change a different shape. So different musical tones have got different shapes through cymatics. And there was this guy that was trying to work out this, and it was like a code. And he'd actually put a song together through it, which I can't play because I'll get copyright. He agreed for me to use it as long as I credited him and stuff like that. But interesting place, guys, interesting place. Like you see, where I did it quickly. I was trying to capture as much as I could quickly. But there's tons of these cubes. Like each one of these was a cube. Cubes. There was cubes everywhere. Like all these arches had cubes on the end of them. All these cubes. They all had like a cymatic pattern on them. You see these quite a lot in Scotland. They're called green men. You see them a lot in the architecture. They're like it's like a pagan sort of thing. There's angels again. That's not one of the cubes, but you see the cubes are up here, up there, and they run up there as well. You see the cubes again. See this? This is a strange kind of carving, because you'd think it would be the same, but kind of it drifts out. But there doesn't seem to be any flat Earth reference of that. It's like creepy things. Look at that face hidden in the wall. There's an angel up there. There's an angel there. The carvings. There's the cubes again on the right hand side. There's these cubes everywhere with the patterns on the end of them. Crazy stuff. And there's the building from the outside. You see it's got this is when it got renovated. The roof had to be replaced. 15th century, Roslin Chapel. It was owned by the Sinclairs. There's me. Hey, as above, so below. See? Because I knew what the fucking this was all about. But the carving was unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. Amazing place. These were the old looking carvings. These were the old ones. A lot of demons. A lot of angels and demons, guys. This one was weird. Look at that. That looks like an alien. It's like, look at that. That looks like an alien. They kind of about aliens back in the Roslin Chapel days. Look at that. That's like an alien. But it's probably more of a skull, and it's probably worn away. It was probably a skull rather than an alien. But it does look like an alien, I've got to say. Actually, it looks like an alien coming out of... It looks like something's coming out of its mouth. Look. Looks like something's coming out of its mouth. Or it's biting it or something like that. It's creepy anyway. Same with these faces. Like these were just in the flutes. In the flutes of the arches. You could see these faces. As above, so below. Upside down. See, as above, so below. Angel. There's a camel, guys. A camel. So in Scotland, in the 15th century, we knew about camels. And apparently there's lots of fauna and shrubbery carved into this building that apparently they were only from America, and America wasn't discovered by this point apparently by the Europeans, but we had carvings of plants and stuff that was from there on this building. There's a creepy wee demon looking thing, wee goblin. It's just amazing. Kind of ruins it with the pipes in the gutter in it. Look at that. Look at the carving in that. That's a bird. It's a bird eating berries or some shit like that. It's nice. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love architecture. I love stonework. I think nowadays when you look at all these modern buildings, all these prefabricated junk, it's just an insult to the achievements men done through architecture. Obviously, it just costs too much money nowadays. You see, look, there's a wee guy there. You know, it's so many carvings. It's not really symmetrical. There's so much going on. There's another one of the guy, the green men, with something in his mouth, coming out his mouth. Aye, spooky. Look, the face at the bottom of it. Directed by Jed Wolf. I was playing the Destiny game. That was I think it was a broadcast that I'd done. 2014. That was a live broadcast. I was doing live broadcasts fucking before all these potato heads. Ask Martin, ask Shroomy, ask that Fanny Lancer guy. I was doing hangouts long time ago. That was a good one, actually. Was it? 2013. You see there, guys? See there? See these radio waves? This is not a natural pattern to be in the clouds. Look at that. Look at these ripples. These ripples in the clouds. But this is all my own footage. I've done it for years, guys. I've done it for years. That's what got me into looking at satellites and stuff, because I thought the radio waves, and then it took me to the satellites, and I was looking at NASA, and it all kind of threw me into the flat Earth. Pretty sad. So I'm just going over the videos just to have a wee recap over the years. This was a crazy one. See, this is when I believed they were called chemtrails. Like, see, I was right in it. I was sucked right into the conspiracy. As you can see here, guys, this is my first video I put on YouTube, actually. But I was watching this persistent contrail. Right? Watch it. Watch where it makes watch when it sort of gets close to the next trail. And it's hard to judge how close the two trails are. Are they overlapping? Are they crossing? But as you can see here, guys, nothing really here. Like we've seen earlier, there's some haze underneath. There's some haze and some specks. This could be like the nuclei. Some of these trails look like they've got little tails on them. But you can see here, guys, nothing really here. This trail makes an overlap. I'm not sure how close this is. This must have overlapped it. This can't be just my perception. I'm not sure if this could be like 100 miles away from that one. By the looks of it, it looks like it overlapped that one. So we can see here, there's not much going on underneath this cross, but keep your eye on underneath the cross. Almost looks like it's raining down a wee bit. But this was summertime. I think it was 2013 I was doing this. Oh, it's getting a wee bit busier now. It's getting a wee bit busier now. That was only a couple of seconds, guys. Now, you can see a big fucking patch of mist. This looks like a cloud forming. This took seconds. See, I was saying it was spraying. I don't think they spray, guys. But at this point, I thought they were spraying these things. What the fuck is that? That looks like they just made a cloud right in front of my eyes. To me, it looked like they just made a cloud. So that's what got me sucked into that. I was like, I just witnessed it with my own eyes. It took seconds. It took seconds. But like we've seen later on, the radio waves are definitely playing a part in this as well. The radio waves are definitely playing a part in this. I think everything's sped up. Oh, it is. Jesus. See, I called it SRM, Solar Radiation Management. Let's be nosy, guys. Let's have a look in Validation Boy's hangout, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up and listen to Validation Boy, because I'm getting tired now. But I'm glad you all sort of stuck with me. Give this video a like if you can, because it's already got 19 thumbs down and 17 thumbs up. Do you know what? I'm going to have to search him. I've got him on. Fuck it. I'm sub to him, man. I'm sub to him. Oh, he's only got 27 watching. I'm stealing these viewers.
He wants you to stream his hangout right now, please, for a test. I don't know how to do any of that. I'm not even going to mess with that. I don't even care if people are watching it right now. I now have 27 viewers, and it's a miracle that I have 27 viewers. I'm not trying to take viewers away from anybody.
Oh. Give me back my viewers validation, boy.
7 o'clock, 5:30. I announced that I was going to go live tonight, and here I am.
I'm watching WWE, says the Scarecrow.
Jed was on earlier, but I think he had been on for a good 2 hours. I think he was winding up, but I could be wrong.
I was winding up, man.
I had to shave up, get in the shower.
Any offense, man. I'm gonna get off and listen to you soon anyway, dude. Who's in their chat? The girl. They lie, Ohio.
They Lie, Ohio says BB has been in flat Earth longer than anyone here. That could be true. Vlad the Impaler says, "Don't fall for it, BB. She's the enemy." No, I'm not falling for Patty. I'm just saying she is. What I had to say. Took my personal request, waited a week or two, and then personally satisfied my personal request of her.
Oh, sucking up to party, eh? Sucking up to party.
All she thought was get a pass. It's definitely not necessarily a permanent thing, but she has earned herself a pass, pretty much.
Oh my
Plus
God.
the fact that she's not around to give me any fuel, you know, anything.
VB's gone soft, man.
She's earned herself a pass.
VB's gone soft.
For now.
Same with Vancouver. It was like, if I bumped into Orphan Red in the shop, I'd be like, "Hiya, man."
As Vlad would say, my friend Vlad would say. Nathan says, "Nothing wrong with Bob. He's one of the good guys. No idea why you guys."
Validation, boy. Sorry. It's true about Jed being caught with a 50-year-old hooker. Aye, right, Nathan.
Way past that, like, little trick you kind of pull there, whatever that whole trick you kind of pull right there.
Right, guys. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. Like I said, thanks for coming. I'm going to join VB's chat, wind up Oakley and Co. Just want to thank everyone for coming. I'm going to shut this down now and give some viewers to VB, because I'm probably costing them viewers, and I've been on a bit long anyway. It's been a long night, guys. Thanks for all coming, and I will see you very fucking soon.